we are up. We are live. Up and live. Up and live. Up and live. Let me give y'all some time. Come in, like and share. Like and share. Let's go and toast together on this great Kuumba day. Thank you, Clee. On this great Kuumba day, right? Oh man, I forgot to send out the black signal. Alright, so I'm gonna have to family y'all have to bear with me. I gotta send out the black signal. And I gotta open up the phone lines. I mean, once again, trying to rush, trying to beat. I don't know what I'm trying to beat, but I'm trying to beat something and end up behind, and it's stupid. So, family, I'm gonna open up the phone lines so that we can have some conversation, as well as I'm gonna do all this at once. Say. Send out the text for the toast. For those that are interested in getting on the text, all you gotta do is text G and J to 77292. The letters G and J. Text it to 77292. So what you do, because I know a lot of y'all old school, pick up your phone, dial, go to your text message, right? Say what number you want it to say, 77292, and just type in the letters G N J, and it'll sign you right up for the list. Right? Then also, family, also I have one more contest. We probably won't do it tonight because I'm waiting for another prize. I gotta catch up on prizes I got. First prize, the first person that won the prize was Miss Tiandra Finch, and I'm waiting for her to let me know how to get her prize, and I'm gonna work on getting her prize. Second winner was Miss Sheila Sales. I got her prize together, waiting on how to get it out to her as well. Well, actually, I gotta wait for the last couple of pieces because some of them went out. You know how to go. And the winner of the third contest was Elder Greg Arnold. Man, I'm telling you, family, listen, people are applying and I'm loving it, So once again, Kwanzaa was on point. You know what I'm saying? We got some stuff we got to work on in the community, but only thing I can say to that is what community don't, right? What community don't have stuff they need to work on, right? Because I know a lot of people was complaining about the time. So what I did was I found a way to tighten up the time. But we got to remember, on the first night of Kwanzaa, everybody wants to be on the first night of Kwanzaa if they can. Everybody wants to be on the first night of Kwanzaa. So the first night of Kwanzaa is always going to be crazy. Now we can cut it and trim it and flip it and rub it down. You know what I'm saying? But we got to restructure some stuff. But I mean, other than that, time-wise, we got out the building on time. We kept our leasing agreement as far as the building, as far as the staff and stuff. We did everything we were supposed to do. We was just running behind, which happens, as most of us, So last night, once again, we had holes in the schedule. Now, actually, we had holes, so we found a way to cover them up. So, family, like I said, when stuff goes wrong, if you're on the outside, we're doing a great job if you don't realize that there's something wrong. We had people step up, and our sister Emily Bailey got up last night, did an excellent story. Oh my God, did an excellent story. Did a rendition of the eagle, the eagle and the chickens, and it was hot. It was hot. She, and I because I love storytellers because first off, they get in and they make the story their own. That's how you know. That's how you know a master storyteller, because anybody can just go on and just tell you the story that they heard. But when a master storyteller gets it, right, they take it and they morph it. Like I talk about those 3 levels of intelligence. The first level is memorization. That's some storytellers, they just have memorization. Then you got intelligence of the mind, and that's where you take it and you have digested it and you have analyzed it and broke it down and you're able to make it your own, right? Then intelligence of the heart. That's mastery beyond mastery. What's intelligence of the heart? Intelligence of the heart is when you live, walk, and breathe your craft. So if you're a storyteller, boom, people can see the story on you. They can see it in your expressions. They can see it in your movements. Every story is yours. You become a Nancy at that point in time. See, that shit dope. All right, but let's go and send out this text. We are live on the toast. Join us. Join us. And the lines will be open at 614-556-4535. And also join us on Spreaker at short URL. See, this one, it's not as fancy as the last Black Signal, but it does more things, and I must admit it's getting a little bit better. I mean, even though I had to go on and switch the contest piece a little bit, it's cool. So we got all the people we sending it to. We are live on the toast. Join us. Boom, boom, boom. All right, cool. Let's launch. Cool. Campaign created and launched successfully. What are we going to do? All right, next step. Uber. Where we at? Bow. Check 1, check 2. All right, cool. We're gonna do this real quick. All right, family. Lines are open. Stop talking. Lines are open. You know what I'm saying? So feel free to call in. So, but before we do all that, well, let's do this. We got Ian. What's up, Ian? How you doing? Trevor Easley. Where y'all celebrating at? Sorry, I'm out the loop. We are celebrating Kwanzaa at the Martin Luther King Center. We will be there again tonight at 6:30. And speaking of that, before I get into the song, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do my song first. Then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna read the agenda for the night. Also, let you know what's going on far as during the day for the children as well. I mean, because we functioning on all levels. So, all right, family, make sure you got your glass. Y'all know what's about to go down. Y'all know what's about to go down, right? First off, I need to welcome you to the congregation of the mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I am your host, and this is the Daily Toast. I forgot to say my name. I am your host. I'm Brother Hatim, and this is the Daily Toast, where we celebrate the ancestors upon whose shoulders we stand upon. And then you know that this is a Heart of a Simba production, where we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Shouts out just in case my daughter's out there listening. Here you go. Too strong, Ian.
Mr. Titty.
Drink your water. Come on. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath and drink some water. Take a breath and drink some water. Take your breath and drink some water. Take your breath. Drink, 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 drink. Or should we say, breathe, breathe, then drink. Grab your bottle of some water. Twist the cap off that water. Lift your glass and pour that water. Man, just get your water. Drink, 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 drink. Or should I say, lift, pour, then. Now move your body and drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Move your body and drink some water. Just move your body. Drink, 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 drink. Or should we say, move, move, then drink. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Now raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Just raise your glass. Drink, 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 drink. Raise, toast, then drink. Now let's try to get this right. Hold on. Take a break, drink some water. Lift your glass and pour some water. Move your body, drink some water. Raise your glass and toast your ancestors. Breathe, lift, move, toast. Yeah, all right. Breathe, lift, move, toast. Take your breath. Lift and pour. Toast your ancestors, break down. Drink, 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 drink. Lift your glass. 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 Drink, 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 drink. Man, family, 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 family. Drink, 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 drink. Hey, listen, we can't toast our ancestors if we're not healthy family. So first, we got to do the most important thing, and that is to take our breath, purposely breathing through our nose, down into our bellies, doing a deep belly breath, right? We got to be drinking our water. That's the second most important thing. Then we got to be eating a culturally appropriate diet. We've been dealing with all these things during Kwanzaa, and of course, we got to get up and we got to move, right? And culturally appropriate movements. Now, the reason we changed it to culturally appropriate movements is because a lot of people is moving culturally inappropriately, right? Not just getting up and walking. Where are you walking to? What are you know what I'm saying? Are you doing some culturally appropriate movements? Not just far as dancing and martial arts and stuff like that, but are all your moves culturally appropriate? Are you moving with my eye? You know what I'm saying? Come on now, family. We got to take this to a whole nother level, family. Because listen, because one of the things, because we are on, if I was to say Habari Gani, I'm going to just say Habari Gani. I'm going to let that float out there for a second, see how many of y'all with me and understand what the hell going on, right? Habari Gani, family, what's going on? Come on, let me see some answers. Let me see some answers, right? Habari Gani, family, what's going on out there? Where we at? Where we at on the Kwanzaa calendar, right? And then also like and share because I'm gonna say some shit that might kind of piss some people off. You know, as my grandmother say, I'm kind of too old to be concerned about that type of shit. It's just like, um, because since we are in the Kwanzaa season, I think each year I have to kind of stress my feelings about Milana Karinga. You know what I'm saying? And then had that discussion, right? Because it's popping up, right? And it's cool, because I understand, right? See, because I mean, like I said, man, I, I'm one of those blessed ones, right? I was able to sit. I was able to kind of to sit with with revolutionaries. You know what I'm saying? In different facets. I know a lot of people like believe that they did, right? You know what I'm saying? Believe that they did. But hey, like I said, I'm gonna leave it at I know a lot of people believe that they did. I'm not I'm not here to kill what you believe that you did, but you might want to check the credentials of the ones that you might have been sitting with, family. Because let me say this. When you look closely at our history. I don't want to get. I got to. Let me write that down. Let me write it down because I got to come back to this shit. Right. I got to come back to this shit because I'm not a fan of Milana Karinga either. But I want to clarify some shit for the Kwanzaa haters out there and shit like that. I want to clarify something for you, and I think it's very important, and I think it's something that's going to be very useful for us moving forward, right? Because there's some shit going on that I don't really think you understand because one, you have not directly experienced it because they didn't have to set it up for you like they had to set it up for our elders in the 60s and the 70s, right? This shit just roll along because now niggas is just we're just telling on each other and telling on ourselves with the social media and the way the technology is, we're telling on ourselves. So they don't need to do it like they set it up for our elders. And there's many individuals that done shit in the past that I really don't agree with and I don't like, but I'm understanding a little bit more as I get older, and I'm understanding because I got to look at stuff. I have an opportunity, or I had an opportunity to look at stuff through the lens of individuals that were actually there. And I'm talking about not just there because many of us sat around and we learned from people that just was there. And what do I mean, right? Right? After Martin Luther King died, after Malcolm X died, after they broke up the Black Panther Party, and everybody that could actually contest the fact of whether or not you was actually involved was gone. We got all these motherfuckers coming out the woodwork talking about how they was there, how they was part, how they was, you know what I'm saying? Very, they were very instrumental, how they marched with King, how they agreed with Malcolm, how they was in the Black Panther Party and shit like that. And it's not the fact, family, because of what I'm saying. It was like it's sort of like the conscious community is today. Not everybody was into that shit. Now some people was even like, man, stop talking like that. You making it uncomfortable for all of us. God damn it, coming up with holidays and clinics and shit. Come on now. Well, I mean, because we got to keep it real, right? So a lot of people are learning from armchair revolutionaries. You know what I'm saying? When I had the opportunity to sit down and actually grow up under one that was able to pull out his FBI file, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he had to fight for his motherfucking life because they was trying to pin a murder on him. Because I want to be very clear with some of these, you know what I'm saying? We need to be very clear, especially moving forward, family, right? Especially when we come out talking about motherfuckers out of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Because like I said, I'm not a big fan of Milana Karinga and some of the shit that he has been accused of. But I am going to have to speak out on this shit. All right, but before we get into that, did I do the song? Because I'm getting hyped. I'm getting hyped right now. I'm getting real hyped right now. So let me go to the Kwanzaa program, and I'm gonna bring it back to this shit, right? I'm gonna bring it back to it because we have to talk about it, and we have to talk about the honor code in our motherfucking in our community, right? We gotta talk about, because like I said, man, Gye-Nyame is built on honor, loyalty, and sacrifice, right? You ain't got it, stay out our way. If you don't got it, right, stay out our way. Stay, period. You know, honor, loyalty, sacrifice, because that's what you need. That's what we need as a people, right? And what we getting is we getting people with, I got honor sometime. Loyalty, loyalty. I like the song, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. I like the song. You know what I'm saying? Hell with sacrifice. That shit sound like it hurts. You know what I'm saying? That's what we rolling with right now, right? And I need to just be very clear, right? I just need to be very clear. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, family, I mean, shit, you know, we talking good game and we doing great research. But when it comes to actually doing work, niggas ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Getting on this and running their gums. Come on, man. I don't got time for it. Especially when you don't have no connection to the times back then, right? When you don't have absolutely no connection, right? You know, we in like far as Kwanzaa here. See, because listen, family, please understand that the talk on Malana Karinga is old. You know what I'm saying? All this shit. I mean, some of the shit that y'all finding out about Al Sharpton, people in our community peeped that shit out a long time ago. Look, I came up not fucking with Al Sharpton. I came up understanding the shit about Malana Karinga. Came up with the shit. I found out about that shit at 21. Right? A lot of the foul shit. But let me this is what we doing today. Then y'all could take the kids and move them away because I'm about to go into a motherfucking tirade. All right. So anybody want to call in and have a discussion with me, because we need to talk about the honor code in our fucking community, and also I want to talk about Kwanzaa, its importance, and also the person through which Kwanzaa came, because I want to be very clear about that shit. Right? It's just like with me and Gye-Nyame, right? Gye-Nyame came through me. I ain't create this shit. Right? The story of G came to me because when I sat down and wrote this shit, it was something unusual about how it came. It just came. I sat there and I wrote that shit in a day. And I'm sitting up here like, oh, whoa, whoa. Oh, man, this definitely ain't mine. Right? So, in the afternoon, on this great and powerful Kuumba Day, December 29th, from 2 p.m. to 4:30, we got for Kwanzaa for children at the Driving Park Library. All right, family. So those of you that have young people, they're gonna be doing some arts and crafts and stuff over there. So we got from 2 p.m. to 4:30, we got Kwanzaa for children over at the Driving Park. Right? That's their family connections, right? You know, don't want to throw names out just yet, but you know those family connections, family. And tomorrow we're having it at Millennium Community School. Now I just have to be sure about the times, and I know I'm supposed to know that shit, but I'll be running, man. I'll be running. All right, because I'm about to go in. So today at 6 o'clock we will start. Cause Elder Tony got us starting on. It's been shocking me that the drum roll and drum call been going right on time. Everything else could be running behind, but that drum starts rolling at 6 o'clock. All right. So family, try to be in the house so that you can grab the last drum call that we're gonna have at the Martin Luther King Center. Kwanzaa's not over, but as a community, far as us being in that place, This will be the last drum call. I expect to see you in the place. All right? So, of course, we're going to have drum call procession, the lighting of the Kanara, and the libations. Come with your ancestors, family. Come with your ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Get ready to pour libations for them. All right. We're going to we're going to have the Black National Anthem. It will be the Shirley Freeman and Community Choir. Oh, they started us off. They was real good. So we're going to have Shirley Freeman and the Community Choir. I want to send shouts out to them because they did an excellent job. Also, last night, A Plus was supposed to come, but they didn't come, right? And a sister came up out the crowd and did an excellent job. I should have wrote her name down, but family, if you know who that sister is, let her know that we gave her a shout out and a round of applause from Gye-Nyame Jones. She demonstrated Ujamaa for it. Ooh, I'm glad I calmed down. I was about to say some shit, boy. All right. We're going to be giving an award to Stan Embry. The honors and recognition Stan Embry. Man, you know what? He was the principal. I can't remember the name of the school, but it's on 5th Avenue where Little Wisdom used to go. He's still, and you know what? This is when this man is dynamic because he still asks me about, hey, Tim, how is Brian doing? Like, damn, Brian grown as, I don't know. I'm just playing. But hey, man, he been looking out for my, but I'm talking about a master educator. Been in there a long time struggling with our children, right? Protecting our children. So he's gonna be receiving the award tonight. And if you don't come for nothing else, come to give this man a round of applause, especially if in some form of, because I'm quite sure in some form of fashion, if you have been in Columbus your whole life, in some form of fashion, you have received the services of this man, right? You might have ran into one of his students. You might have played a basketball game at his gym. You might have participated in a program at his school. Come on now. So he gets the lightning strike of God or the phoenix, another phoenix cry. Go ahead. For those that didn't know, that's right. The phoenix is the mysterious thunderbird. So I got 2 for 1. Said right. Good job, anime. Good job. Right. We had we got For the Love of Dance that's gonna be there tonight. Now those that don't. Woo!
This call is being recorded.
Man. All right, we got we're gonna have Simba and Simpson. The Simba and Simpson circle, they're going to be presenting tonight.
I'm not gonna go.
We got the comedians. We got comedians tonight. We got comedians Riley and Lulu. We got Soul Sister Style Hair Show. We got the Medicine Woman Show by Queen Fatima Chua. And in the gallery presentation, Cinnamon Sweets, Caramel Community Feast. Everyone, and we having a feast. Bring a dish, a clean dish with clean food. I feel, for some reason, I feel I have to say that shit. A clean dish with clean food. All right, come on out. It's chow down time, right? We're going to eat off of the harvest of these principles that we have worked on and built on all this year. Family, we are about to close out the year. It's incredible. But somebody on the line, who on the line? Who on the line? Because I'm about to go in. I'm gonna need somebody to rescue me. I'm gonna need somebody to rescue me. I'm about to go all the way.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm okay. I
Don't
had a
be trying to
breakfast gap
call
this
in.
morning,
Don't be
thanks
trying to
to my
call
wife.
in the morning because you're gonna be hosting tonight. Nobody care. Lady J will
Whatever. I
Lady
just
J will
happened
be
to be
hosting tonight.
awake, alert.
You say what?
I just happened to be awake and alert today. That's
Uh
it. You're doing it later in the morning.
yeah. It's Kwanzaa, baby. Actually, there is no time during Kwanzaa. That's that's what a lot of y'all need to learn. There, the sun rises and the sun sets, but there is no time during Kwanzaa. Right? Shit. I'm just saying. I'm just one of those ancient Africans that reincarnated, right? I came back through my bloodline and I realized, man, you got to have that 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 no time space. That's what those see now in when you look at the creation story, right? When you look at the creation story for the Kemites, you got the story where Jeb and Nut, I know that don't sound right, or Newt. Some people say Newt, but Jed and Newt got pregnant, right? Jed was laying it down. Newt got pregnant, right? But Ra refused to give her the time to have the babies. So Tahuti, being loving Newt, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just beautiful woman, just want to show respect. Went and won some time since the sun controls daytime, the moon controls the nighttime. So Tahuti went and won some days or won some time from the moon, and it turned out that he won 5 days, and he was able to give these 5 days to Newt. And in those 5 days, Newt gave birth to the pantheon of Kemet, right? Asar, Aset, Netet, Set, and Heru the Elder, right? Actually, Heru the Elder was third. Then you had Netet, and then you had Set, right? So all these, and each one of those got a day, and that was a time outside of time because Tahuti took one time from the night and gifted it to Newt so that she could have her baby. So we're in a time outside of time, right? So and that's what I kind of say for these 7 days. The story gonna come through me for it, but that's how it goes. But anyway, where was we at, Lady J, before I stumbled on that shit? You know how I
You
get.
were telling me the highlights of last night.
Yeah, man, it was marvelous. See, you know, my co-host, Miss Madonna, was on point. You understand what I'm saying? I love it. So I already got them primed for you, girl. So I'm like, yo, cause I said, hey, Madonna cold, but I say Lady J gonna put on the show too. So hey, girl, you got some big boots to step in behind. I'm just letting you know.
You didn't say that, did you, out loud?
What? What? Girl, listen.
Did you jinx me?
What you mean jinxed you? Ain't no such thing as jinx. Oh, my fault. You ain't Gye-Nyame. So yeah, you might have a jinx on you, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? And you better not fumble.
Like,
No,
you
no,
like
no. I ain't jinxed you. I gave you the ball, and you better not fumble. How about that?
Do you like saying that? You like
What?
saying that. I see how you got excited when you said you're not Gianni. Does that make you feel some type of way?
that
You
that
can't tell
that
me
I'm a
what I
elitist?
am. You can't tell me what I am. I'm
What?
Gianni.
What? Oh, I can't tell you. Hold on, girl. I almost choked. I'm sorry. What you say?
You heard me.
I ain't heard a word you said, girl. It was static
So
and
I'm
everything.
about to tell you right now. Don't be trying to bully me tonight. I'm not trying to argue.
Who?
I'm not
Who?
trying
Wait,
you.
stop.
Cause
Stop.
you always trying to
Stop.
work for the adversary.
Stop. Stop.
You
Stop.
always being counterproductive
Stop.
to my
Stop.
movement.
Stop. Hold on.
I've already
You
got
told
all my
me
fluffy
you
talk ready.
you
I
said
got all my highlights for my fluffy talk.
so you just told me that you don't want to argue. Y'all heard this. I want everybody. Write it down. She said that she don't want to argue on stage. I'm not even, I'm guaranteeing she gonna say some shit to trigger me on stage. I already know. That's why I told him. That's why I said she get one
How
day.
can I control what triggers you? Everything I say triggers you, Hakim.
Then
You just be
sometimes
waiting. It could be anything, and it triggers you, Hakim. It doesn't take much for me to trigger you.
no,
You
you be
need to
directed.
become a
You be
master of yourself,
you
Hakim.
be
Don't let
directed.
me do that
You
to
be
you.
directing some comments at me offhandedly, just starting shit. You like a little sister that just knows how to just touch that point in me. And it's not right. It's evil. It's evil, Lady J. You need to stop
Is
it.
it evil?
See, I'm glad you admitted that you did it. Because you asked if it's evil,
I
so
do
you
what?
so you
I didn't
claim
say
it.
I did
You claim
anything.
it. You
I just
claim
said
you claimed it.
all I do is speak, Hakim, and then you get offended.
Oh my
So
God.
I never know what's
When did
going to
that
offend
start?
you or get you out of your element. It's something different every
I'm
time.
just gonna
So
leave the room when I give you the mic. How about that? I'm gonna just
you're
leave you
gonna
the
leave the
stage.
room.
I'm gonna leave the room and I come in and clean up afterwards. How about that?
You come what?
I'm gonna leave the room and I'm gonna come in and clean up afterwards.
You so silly.
Now, but family, in all serious, Lady J will be hosting tonight. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time, Lady J, so that you know what the program is. I'll go back through it for you, and of course, we're gonna have time to, we're gonna have to ad lib, we're gonna have to add stuff and stuff like that. And with you, I ain't got to worry about it because, like I said, you're not shy and you're a good host too. Because just like with Madonna, when stuff wasn't happening, she was able to get up and able to handle it, and I'm expecting the same shit from you. Here we go. Of course, we got the drum call procession, lighting of the canard, and libations. We're gonna be giving away the community award. And this award will be the Ujamaa. No, my fault. I have the Shirley Freeman, and a community choir sing, lift every voice and sing. We're gonna be honoring Stan Embry. And since you grew up in Columbus, have you ever had an opportunity to work with or go to school up under Mr. Embry? Hello?
You asking me, Hakim?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Have you ever
Mister.
been worked with Mr. Embry or been in school that he was a principal over?
Not a not a principal, but the name sounds familiar.
Okay. All right, because he
I do want to point this out. I do want to point this out. So this is another educator.
right.
Yeah, it just I am very moved by many things um, that I've experienced at the Kwanzaa Festival this year, and I will say that next year's what is this called that I have directory should include an ad that lets everyone know that teachers we're hiring. We are looking for Black educators that
See,
come.
there you go triggering me. You did that
What?
on purpose. You did that on purpose.
You were speaking of Mr. Emery and the fact that he was a principal in the school. I'm also going back to the lady that we acknowledged on the first day of Kwanzaa, who started the foundation for the Helen Jenkins Lunch Bunch Scholarship Program, which Helen Jenkins was one of the first African American teachers, public teachers here, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know if I shared this with you, but ironically, I received that first place scholarship when I was in high school.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, so that was very moving. And I had just shared this recently because in one of the newsletters that my district puts out, they were speaking of this scholarship. And so I was just sharing with someone, I won first place back in 1999. That was $1,000. $1,000 that I could spend on books. $1,000 pretty much I could spend. I think I bought me some OSU paraphernalia because I would have a full ride, so I could kind of spend my money a little differently. But that's one of my crowning achievements is being the first place. They choose one young lady from every high school, write an essay, and I actually won first place. So that was just heartwarming to be there and to watch her be recognized, knowing that this foundation, helped me. And so I just want to acknowledge that.
I just wanted to
acknowledge that.
Because I was shaking with anger a second ago. I like how you shifted gears when you heard the agitation in my voice. You learning, woman. You learning.
Normally, if you would let me finish speaking, the same thing would happen every time. Because I'm really not in conflict.
You be so you long winded, man. You talk more than me. I can't let you keep going. Then it be the Lady J. I might as well let you do the intro and do the water song and shit. No, you got to bring it home quick, baby. You know what I'm saying? All right.
I forgot your attention span gets shorter the older you get, so you're probably at 8 seconds.
Oh, time out.
I'll make sure I
we
get
doing
quicker.
old jokes. Considering you just got done talking about you run an award back in 1899, you need the whole joke. You need to really watch what you're saying sometime.
That was 1999.
Oh, my fault. I heard it wrong. I seen all that gray hair. Was that,
again, you're old, so it's not.
That wasn't gray hair in.
This is wisdom.
Oh, and it's borrowed too. Down! Where the explosion at? Where is it at? What?
Did you say that I'm bald? Is that what
I didn't. All right. Lady J, listen. Wait, hold on. We got a bunch of. All right, somebody. No, it's not Kuumba. Well, it's Kuumba for us, Miss CeeLo, but it's Ujamaa today. Watch you on YouTube via my TV. Who is hosting the Kwanzaa for children today? They don't have that down, but I'm quite sure that it's Elder Greg Arnold and Mama Fatima, I think. But anyway, yeah, man. But yeah, so once again, Lady J, we're gonna be hosting tonight. We're gonna have us a good time. Can I continue with the thing?
Yes, you may proceed, sir.
All right. So after we do the award for Elder Stan Embry, we're gonna be blessed with for the love of dance. Man, they do modern. It's gonna be beautiful. Then we're gonna have some community presentations. In there we got the health. It's gonna be like the health minute, and we're gonna talk about mental health, mental healing, or because this is a serious issue in our community. So we're gonna have somebody presenting about that tonight. So listen in. Simba and Simpson Circle will be presenting. The Simba and Simpson Circle will be presenting. And then we got comedians, Riley and Lulu. We got Soul Sister Styles Hair Show. We got the Medicine Woman Show by Queen Fatima Chua. And then also in the gallery, we're gonna have cinnamon sweets. So we gonna see how all this is gonna work out. Shouts out to Brother Kwame. I see you on the line. Shouts out to Miss CeeLo. And somebody else just called in. Who called in? Because Brother Hatim is about to go off.
You don't recognize my number yet, but you got Quasi's recognized. But this is Sister Navita.
So what you trying to say, Sister Navita?
I ain't saying
shit. Greetings, Queen.
Greetings, Sister J. You see the video I posted with you getting your hair wrapped?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Someone's
She wore that rap for 3 days.
I'm sorry.
She wore that rap for 3 days.
And I rewrapped it. And that's the second time. You know, at camp, we have a hair wrapping workshop, but I mean, there's just so many different styles and ways you can do it. That was probably the simplest. I could regurgitate what she said. I think, like, and help someone else. Normally, I can't help people tie their wraps. I can only do it for them. But the way she made it was so simple. That yes, I have been wearing my wrap every day. I love my wrap. People who know me know that.
I can't seem to get it right. I was trying to wear one for the first day, but I can't get it right.
I was trying to wear one
showing
too,
up
but I couldn't
early today so she could wrap my hair.
It couldn't get it right either, you know, because that hair wrap is very important. I was trying to wear one myself, you know. It just wouldn't sit right.
Let me tell you, Tim. I went to the hair wrap festival in Detroit this year, and they had a piece for the men, and they showed the men how to wrap. They had some cold stuff for the men wrapping their head. They had
for real?
Old manly stuff. Yeah, man.
I'm serious. I might want to check that out because, you know, that might be, you know, I like being a trendsetter. I'm 50 years old now. I don't have to give a fuck about what people think no more. So
yeah, but and the people that were doing the presentation for the men, they were all from, you know, the Middle East.
Oh, well, I'm not fucking with it.
But they was cold with it. They was cold with it.
I'm not fucking with it. You know, there ain't no goddamn.
I don't know why.
It's no. Because I'm not West Asians, we don't get along. Middle Asians,
they call that place Middle Asia, and it really looked like Africa to me. Parts of it, anyway.
Yeah, because they harassed and kidnapped so many motherfuckers over so long of a period that, of course, it looks like Middle Africa, right? You know, I hear you, but shit. And then you go talk to them, they so brainwashed that they don't even. I mean, it's sort of like
you know. I'm sorry to cut you off, Tim, but you know what I've learned from teaching my students. You know, number of my students come from Africa. Do you want to know different parts? Mostly West Africa, Nigeria. Lots of students from Ghana. I do have Somalians, Ethiopians. Who else do I have? One Eritrean student. Do you know what plagues my heart? Hatim, and I think I've already talked about this on this show.
Go ahead.
I had my kids do a timeline, and because they're refugees, a lot of them don't have their pictures, you know. So I told them that they could go online, and as long as the picture matched the text, they would be fine. Well, they printed off these pictures, my black students, of these white babies.
Yeah.
And so, yes. They put in, and this is overwhelmingly. This wasn't one child. This was several of my children, several of them printed off black children, printed off pictures of white babies and white children to represent them. Yes. So when I think about, you know, it goes to show you this whole Eurocentralism, right? Am I saying that right?
Eurocentric?
You're just being nice because I know you don't like to use that word white supremacy, but I understand. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. White supremacy across the globe. And then some time ago, I watched some of the men in, I want to say it's Nigeria. They're lightening their lips, right? So that their lips look pink. You know, they're doing that thing. A lot of them are doing the lightening cream now. Lip lightening.
Now.
Yeah, you have to see it. It looks like a tattoo gun. And
now imagine a brother dark as hot tin with some pink lips.
Pink lips. I can't make it up. So when I think about, you know, there has been debate. I don't even want to bring it up because it's not even worthy of conversation. But when I think about why it's important to have a Black History Month, not an African American History Month, why it's important to share the news of Kwanzaa, why is it important to share our legacy and to instill a sense of pride in our people? This is exactly why. Because I when I tell you like trouble, like if I was so embarrassed, Sister Levita, I didn't want to put these kids' timelines up in the wall in the hallway. I didn't even want to display them because it hurt my heart that much. You know, but then I know why.
You know what?
I do know why.
But hold on, I'm glad you felt that because you know a lot of teachers wouldn't have felt that shit. I'm glad you felt that shit because I mean it's like it's part. It shows that the attacks that are being launched upon us as a people is working. And like I say, I always say you got a lot of black people don't believe that they're black. They believe that they are dark-skinned white people, and we have to be very clear about that shit. And the ones that we can help. The ones that you can't, get the fuck away from them as soon as possible because either they're gonna self-destruct or they're gonna turn you into the police. Just letting you know right now.
I'll say this last piece. I don't, it's not even, I also teach kids from Mexico and different Latin American countries, and they too have the issue.
Yeah.
They one of the little girls told me, one of my Somalian kids told me her mom was white. She said, my mom is white. I'm looking at this little girl. She's about a half a shade lighter than me. I said, how is your mom white? And my Hispanic, teaching aide had to break it down. And as he began breaking it down, my students from different countries in Central America, they were in agreement. They were all shaking their heads. And I'll never forget my first year teaching ESL, I had a Nepalian student, a student from Nepal. And this student told me one day, well, she was rude to me, and I couldn't figure out why. But it was because in Nepal, it's the same thing. Like in India, you are ranked based on your shade, right? On your color. And this little girl was dark. So I know, and from her last name, I know what caste she was in. She was one of the lower caste. So when she came to America, it brought her a sense of pride to be able to look down on me, someone who was darker. Right, but I had to do my research because I couldn't understand why this girl was giving me such a hard time. And then the more I read, the more I understand this whole colorism thing. They have unleashed something on the world.
What time out? Well, let me say this. It's been here. We just, I mean, unleashed. This shit been here. And then the caste system that you're talking about, that shit still exists here. But, we don't recognize it.
And it does.
But you know what? And and I got proof for everybody out there. If you don't believe it, watch the movie Bird Box.
I got a post about Bird Box.
Them motherfuckers. Hey, listen. What was they seeing that would make them be suicidal? And then on top of that, you know what's more interesting about that movie? I wonder what was going on in the hood. I wonder what's going on with us. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. I mean,
you know what I think is most interesting about that movie?
What?
Imagine if we shared information about like those vendors at the Martin Luther King Center, like we did Bird Box, right? Yeah, that was something we will promote. I was just about to ask you, has 107.5, 106.3, have they pulled their bands up and came into Kwanzaa to broadcast or to share with the people?
I'm telling you,
right?
most our people believe that they are dark-skinned white people. That's part of the issue.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I'm about to see, because before y'all called in and called me now, I was about to go off because I got... because I'm hearing motherfuckers go off about Malana Karinga right now and shit like this. And it's like, yo, so it's like, you got motherfuckers talking about Kwanzaa and shit. So I want to kind of set some shit straight. You know what I'm saying? Because we really need to have this conversation. And we also need to have a conversation about honor within our community, about some type of code in our community. And I was about to go to fuck out because I was so irritated by the talk about Malana Karinga, and not that I like that nigga. I just want to be very clear. Not that I even like him. But I want to be very clear about what he was up against and what all those brothers back in that time were up against. And I don't think none of us right now can even fathom. You know what I'm saying? Can even fathom. Not even that it's even over. But the shit when you in the midst of it, you don't see it happening. But go ahead.
So this is my thing.
They ain't toast yet.
You know, I like to, as much as I like to get on here and go speak with you and all the listeners and people who call in, I really like to do commentaries on Facebook, right? So if you think that I annoy you, you should see me on Facebook annoying other people. And so I came across this debate about Kwanzaa. And the thing that sickened me most is that this person brought up this argument in comparison to Christmas, basically saying that we have traded in one thing for another. And he brought up this piece, and like I've said here, and I've said to you many times, I think one of our problems is we don't know how to keep our eye on the big picture. Right. We don't know how to keep our eye on the big picture. And I'll give you an example that I hate to use because I just don't know how people feel when I say it, and I don't want to argue. But my example is always Barack Obama.
No, God damn it, there it go.
Where our elders, there are many of our elders who never thought they would see the day when they would have a black president, right? We get a black president. Instead, it's politics. I didn't have anything that I expected from the president because it's politics, many tricks, and I knew who put him in office. But what I said on this post was that the government, the people who own and distribute the wealth, have given us many things that we can use to empower and lift ourselves up, but we would choose to break them down and tear it down instead. Right? We could have used Barack Obama's appointment as an opportunity to instill pride, hope in our children. Now they can actually see themselves being president. Before, it was like, I remember I wanted to be president when I was little. I said it, right? But I really couldn't see it because none of those presidents look like me, right? Now we got a first lady. We had a first lady just start
get to the point. Get to the point. Get to the point.
Like they'll tear down Kwanzaa.
Okay, thank you.
Won't look at the principles. Right. Won't look at the principles. Won't look at what's supposed to come out of it. Won't look at the fact that you could essentially still celebrate Christmas. You're still trading gifts. Wait till after Christmas. The sales are on anyways. You save money. Mm-hmm. It behooves you not to participate in something that would lift you up economically. Stop burning a hole in your pocket. But people will find some reason. They can't never look at this.
Yeah, I had an issue. I posted something about Kwanzaa. Somebody came on my wall with the Milana Karanga argument.
I'm about to bust their ass. So y'all gonna like and share this shit.
Milana Karanga, like I told
y'all gonna like and share this shit.
Of Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa, in my studies, I have found that Kwanzaa means the first fruit or the first harvest, which is a celebration that has been celebrated in Africa prior to it being celebrated here in 1966. And Milana Karanga, merely, in my opinion, he just went into Africa. He seen what they were doing, and he came here. And Kwanzaa is also is African in origin, the name, but it doesn't have a double A at the end. So when he came here and he did the Kwanzaa, he added an extra A at the end, and he just brought it to us and put some of his own spins on it or whatever. But you can't take away from the fact that I have found in my studies that Kwanzaa already existed and is celebrated in different parts of Africa still today. So it's not like he invented it as much as like maybe somebody goes to America and it was already here, but they put their stamp and spin on it and say it was mine. And he just kind of reinvented it for us in this country. That's how I look at it.
Hold on.
It already existed.
Now, All right, with different names. So it was different festivals at different times of the year because in Africa, harvest festivals do exist and do happen and still continue to do so. Harvest festivals, not Kwanzaa. Now,
But they actually do have Kwanzaa festivals, which is going on right now throughout the continent. Okay.
right now, where?
Yes. South Africa being one, because my
Now,
girlfriend
are you
Linda
sure? Now,
was
are you sure?
celebrating.
Are
They
you
celebrate real
sure?
big in
Are you sure
South
that's not
Africa.
connected directly connected to? Because now also you need to understand that Kwanzaa is a key Swahili word. They speak a whole different language in South Africa. Now,
I'm positive because last year they asked
then
me as a guest to come on and do she wanted to try to promote it in she has a group, and I'm in that group, and they celebrated big in South Africa, and she just was like, since you guys celebrate Kwanzaa here in the States, I'd like for you to come on and offer some of the, because most of the people in this group are from the United States, but so I went ahead and had a Kwanzaa discussion. I think me and Alumala did it
but
a couple, or maybe last year.
what
We
I'm
did a discussion for her on how we do here in this country, and she told me that that was their Kwanzaa time, and she shared what they were doing in South Africa for their Kwanzaa
now,
celebration.
but what I'm asking is their Kwanzaa celebration an offshoot of what Milana Karenga was doing, or were they celebrating it before Kwanzaa was
She
created?
told me they were celebrating it before as a harvest festival, but it was Kwanzaa, but it was more of like the new harvest, first harvest is what she called it,
Okay.
but they call it Kwanzaa. But she said initially it was the first harvest, and they celebrated at this time of the year. Now I don't know if they picked this time of the year because of Milana Karenga, but they do celebrate it, and she calls it Kwanzaa. And like you said, they speak a whole different language in South Africa, but they do it. And she said it's real big there.
Right. I'm just saying. I mean, so the influence of black folks from here is spreading anyway because it's like it.
That's Pan Africanism. It wouldn't make sense if this is a Pan African holiday that it wouldn't be right.
I'm
And
I'm
and
not I'm
and
not arguing that point. I'm
and
not
and and,
But go ahead.
and I was just going to say my studies. And my initial studies when I first learned about Kwanzaa, uh, I had the same understanding as Sister Levita. Later, when I read, just read about African American, I mean, later that's when I learned it was primarily African American. But my first thought was that it was grounded in Africa, parts of Africa as well.
Now, once again, Kwanzaa means harvest. So harvest festivals are a natural thing for people who live on farms. You have times where when it's the harvest, you got plenty, so you're gonna have a celebration. So you have all these villages to come together and they have a celebration, and that's a Kwanzaa, right? But the whole 7 day thing with the candles and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's uniquely that uniquely came through um Milana Karenga.
And it may have, because I mean, they do the same thing there in South Africa, and it may have came. That's why I said he put his own spin on
Well, I mean,
how
because
they're going to do the harvest, because they already existed.
because
It's
he
just he
borrowed,
brought it here, and this is how we're going to do it here.
well, I
But
mean,
it's not
which is what he's
about
supposed to do.
him.
You say who?
I agree. I agree.
Say it again.
I just said I agree.
All right, hold on. I think Elder Tony trying to call in. So let me put that number out there, 614-556-4535, because he just called me on my line, and I'm trying to say. So call in line, 614-556-4535. You know, because that's...
But I'm going to ask anybody that's listening, it's not about, if you can make the holiday about the principles and not the person that.
Well, hold on. But now I think it's important that we stress, because my issue is, because motherfuckers coming and, I'm seeing shit in my timeline talking about him being a rat and all this shit, and I'm having a problem.
I can't believe it.
Wait, hold on, wait. Hey, I don't know.
You're coming on your timeline saying that?
Listen, I'm saying this shit. I mean, it ain't like they posted it on my shit, But I'm looking at other people's timeline and I'm getting
They
constant.
posted it on my page.
I wish somebody would post it on my page.
But I'm not offended. But what I want to do is speak on it, because what we have armchair revolutionaries who have never really been involved in shit, who have never really done shit, and don't have connection to those brothers and sisters that came up out the 60s. You know what I'm saying? This is what's pissing me off. Because until you start sitting down and talking with somebody that was really involved, and let me tell you how you know they was really involved, right? You know that they're really involved because you could go and you could request records on them from the fucking Federal Bureau of Investigations. If you don't have a record, it's a good chance that you was one of those niggas sitting up there talking about, y'all just agitating the white man. We got the goods around here. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of armchair historians. We got a lot of people that was not actually involved that's sitting up here. And I got to, even though I don't, because my elders, the elders that I dealt with, never had a good view of Milana Karenga. Never. But one of the things that they avoided doing is what niggas is doing right now. Y'all are out here saying that he did all this shit and that he was working for the white man. Let me say this to y'all. I'm gonna say this to all of y'all right now, right? The reason that y'all are able to say shit like that is because you have had no experience or have spoke to anybody with any experience that has ever dealt with the COINTEL program 100%. Where these motherfuckers was actually putting letters in your name and actually trying to railroad you for murder. That's the lineage I come from. People that beat that shit. So now, when we go around and we look at shit and we want to start pinpointing and saying what motherfuckers did, because we're going off of other people's records.
What the white man said he did.
Right. How the fuck can you do that? One, now, far as the trial with the ladies.
But you know what else they're saying? They're saying that they gave us Kwanzaa to pacify us.
Well, hey.
Essentially, they're saying that to pacify us. That was his exchange for him snitching, for him being an informant, was his own holiday. That is the claim that people are putting out as well.
So and see, this is what bothers you. How do these see, this is what we got. We got too many motherfuckers that got too many brain cells working on useless projects. Take your motherfucking mind and direct that shit to directing our youth. Direct that shit towards building up our motherfucking community rather than looking for motherfucking conspiracies. So they give this motherfucker a holiday to betray. Now, let's say it is true. I don't know. But I'm not going off their records. You know why? Because their records say that my mentor murdered somebody when he tells me he didn't. Their records kept one of my elders in prison for 25 years, locked up and sealed up in a motherfucking cage like an animal, and it's still more in there right now. And I'm supposed to believe what the fuck y'all got?
They records say my son is a bad person, and I'm gonna tell you right now, that shit that they put on my son, he didn't do.
Listen.
That's why I always say I gotta hear the evidence first, because a plea bargain is a motherfucker when you're looking at.
Oh, when you ain't got money for a lawyer. See,
you know what I'm saying? They love to trump up some charges on people. That's why I always say, oh, he had a kidnapping case. He's crying like, I gotta hear the details. And a lot of times in kidnapping cases just be a matter of somebody arguing and saying, I don't want you to go.
Or telling the motherfucker.
Stay here and talk, and they grab you by the arm. We're gonna talk. There's 3 different kidnapping charges on one case, and I know a young man got 74 years on some bullshit because a chick was mad at him, and she said this and that, and they put him up. If you look at his record, you think this motherfucker was a child's master, and I know he's a child.
You know what else?
You can't believe what they put down. You got to talk to the individual and get both sides of the story. That's how I feel about that.
not only that, when you're speaking of the past, you have to be able to put yourself in the past. People be speaking on stuff and then they won't even, and I'm gonna give you an example that I take, not putting herself in context. There was this meme. I just wanted to throw this out too. You know, when Black History Month comes around, Black people will be making arguments against that as well. Black people will have the most to say against Black history. Well, I'm not going to say the most, but they be the ones that be the most vocal against Black history. That hurts. It hurts my soul.
No, but let me say this to you, Lady J. This is where we got to be very clear. It shouldn't hurt you, baby. This is why. Because it identifies who is tribe and who is not. I keep telling y'all, it's time for us to circle wagons because our enemies are circling their wagons. Even some of our allies are circling their wagons. We're not circling our wagons. We still got our motherfucking gates open, and we're going to be penetrated by people that don't belong. What I just said. What I just said.
Our people are most impressionable, which is why propaganda is most important. Our people are most impressionable. That's why they'll ride these waves and get caught up in all things, preoccupied with all things that don't matter.
See, Lady J, I'm just gonna say,
yes.
There you go. You go out there and you go and save those motherfuckers. Once again, and I say that to you all the time. You're not going to you're not going to convince me of that. Go save them.
It's very simple. It's not about saving anyone. Again, it's about a propaganda campaign where you reach everyone. You may not be able to save everyone.
And we're not going to be able to save everyone, Lady J.
And bombarding them with the same energy. We got to match. We got to match the adversary's energy.
You listen.
They put out posts. They put out images. They put out media portrayals. They put out all of these things.
They just had this conversation today.
Yeah, they do that. So where is our counter? Where is our counter?
Lady J, excuse me. What are you on my show for? What did you keep on asking? Where's our calendar? What is you on my show for? How many times?
Huh? But this, again, I told you that, and I told you.
If you bring up the James Brown song or some famous motherfucker, I'm gonna hang up on you.
No,
I'm gonna hang up.
I was going to say that about 30 minutes, about 25 minutes ago. But you do know that there's a need for that, Hatim. When we talk about instilling the sense of pride. There's a problem when even my kids from Africa, the motherland, don't see themselves as Black. There's
Lady
a problem.
Lady J,
the
problem is, Lady J,
because no matter what corner of the world that we are in, we face common. We don't have the same situation, but we face a common enemy. No matter what corner of the world we in,
Lady J,
and that is white inferiority.
Lady J, I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you. But this is the issue that I have with what you say. Your shit is always aspirational and inspirational, which our people need. But when you say, where is our media at? And I get up on this thing and do every morning and say, welcome to wait, time out. You talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk.
I can tell you
you about to get it.
Speaking of you, though.
No, but listen to me. You are. See, because when
I'm not.
Listen.
I'm not.
Listen. Can I finish my point? You can't tell me what I heard from you. I can tell you what I heard from you. Yeah, I can tell you. I'm telling you my perception.
Can I speak to Sister Levita for 1 second, please?
Yeah, call her. Here, let me give you her number.
I think someone else called in. Is there another caller on the line?
You allowed him to finish his point. Go ahead, Hatim.
All I'm saying is, Lady J, you be asking for shit that even if we got, because we got that shit. See, this is the problem with our people. We have been not only brainwashed, we have been made to forget that we done did everything. This whole this whole mass communication shit you talking about, we done did it because you could reference other times in history when it done happened, and shit ain't changed. So I'm not on listening to that shit no more. What are we gonna do now? What can we do with what we have now?
Well,
I'm not trying to recruit. I'm not trying to recruit. I'm not trying to. I ain't finished. I'm not finished. I'm not trying to recruit right now. We got to build with what we got. We got people right now that are terrified. We got people right now that are mentally ill. We got people right now. We sat in front of a room of 250 people and we got the audacity to talk about we want to reach the masses. But we can't organize 250 people in our community to do some shit. But we want to talk about mass organization. Let's practice with what we got.
Well, I think the mass media outlet. Now, I don't recall I know back in the 60s and the 70s, there was a real big, movement of, I'm black and I'm proud. And, a lot of sisters and brothers were embracing that movement.
How did they get the information?
What she's kind of trying to say
how did they get the information?
You have a media outlet, but how many media outlets do we have? Like I don't know, like Jay-Z, that's somebody, I don't know any of the new artists today or anything, but there's a Jay-Z and then a Beyonce and then I don't know, whoever the young people are following, they start showing their African pride and they made it to where they're not embarrassed of being black. And we've seen this in multiple images. That's why you see the imagery is an issue, because like even in movies, we will talk about what type of message is being displayed, even in the movies. So if we was to do a lot more mass multimedia, and that's just only one of the areas that has
but we ain't got
focus. So, and if you don't have it now, we just keep on working at with what we two things can exist at the same time. We can work with what we have, and we can recruit people who want to be a part of the movement.
I don't believe we can. See, because I really don't. I don't believe that we can.
Well, maybe you can't multitask that thing.
But what I'm saying,
I think.
But as a people, see, because all right, well then where the fuck they at? I'm just saying. I mean, because
that's her thing. I think that we are stuck in the mindset that we don't have it, so don't just forget about it.
We're stuck in the mindset. We're stuck in the mindset.
In that area.
We're stuck in that mindset. We're stuck in that mindset that we never did the shit before. James Brown was the biggest artist damn near in the world when he put that shit out. We had X-Clan. We had time out. We had KRS-One. Go ahead.
During that time, though, a lot of Black Pride, from what I saw anyway, visually, there was a vigor of unity of Black people back then, and there was more of a Black unity back then.
Can I say this? And this can be proven. Do you know that during our history, we too had a wave where people were using that lightning cream in America, making themselves lighter. Do you know when it was major? One of the pinnacle points, just one, since slavery, Harlem Renaissance, right? A renaissance of Black thought happening throughout and several frontiers in the United States, right? And you had some of the people that were instrumental in that, using the lightener creams. Like Langston Hughes. Yep. Langston Hughes, one of them. There's a list of them. But using the lightning cream. When I read this and heard this, I was just like, wow. But again, I tell them, it's not to discredit. We all have a platform. We all, every last one of us, we have a platform. They, again, just like I said, the government gives us things and pray that we don't figure out how to make it work to our advantage. We have social media where we could, again, bombard with positive messages, sharing positive messages, imagery of us. There's other things that we do as well. And I do think, I say it all the time, we're in the midst of the Great Awakening. We are on our way. We're making that wave. But we do have to attack the monster from all sides. And the thing that my people don't understand, I believe, is propaganda. We share the negative portrayal. We buy into the negative portrayal. We don't use the power that we have to make the change that's in our hands. That's in our hands. That's something we can control.
Wait.
We just have to do more of it.
So now listen. Marcus Garvey had a paper. The Nation had a paper. Even when everybody.
Do Columbians have a paper? What happened to the Calling Post?
Who?
And it's not to say that those things weren't effective. Everything that
Marcus Garvey knew what was effective.
Who?
Yes, our ancestors.
That's what I'm saying. Listen. See, this is the listen to me. Look, stop for a second. You saying shit like we haven't done it. That's what bothers me.
You said that we have done it.
We have. What I'm saying is, you want to keep doing the same shit over and over again when in fact we have not. When we have not mastered.
It's called ingenuity. Okay. It's called ingenuity. Well, Sister Levita spoke to it. She said that the founder of Kwanzaa.
Just because Sister Levita spoke to it, don't mean I agree with that shit. I'm sick of motherfuckers coming and talking about what we ain't doing rather than doing something.
We do.
See, what you're doing is you giving people who don't do shit fuel to have a reason not to do shit. Because we don't got propaganda.
Very simple. I'm going to tell you something very simple. What I tell people.
I ain't trying to hear that shit.
This is something
we ain't got people. We ain't got workers. We ain't got people willing to get out here to be honorable about what the fuck we do. That's what we don't have. You can have all the social media. You can have Jay-Z come out.
Somebody that would make our people, like when they had some Jordans that came out, people were surrounded around the building. If we could somehow get people that excited about things that are really lucrative to us as a community, then I would love to see that happen. That's all.
Can I tell you? So what if you only got 10 people? What if you only got 10 people excited about that? Is that a good thing?
Can I tell you something real quick?
We're celebrating Kwanzaa right now, and we had a room full every night. We had a room full every night, and I'm like, yo, we looking right past that, talking about well, we need to get the Jordan type popularity. No, let's master what we got.
Can I say something? Can I give us? I got this idea, right?
Lady J, I'm not in the mood for no idea. Stop. I'm not in the mood for no idea. Wait, time. No, it's not. You lying. You sitting up there lying just like you do. You're lying.
I just
stop.
No,
stop.
I got an idea.
Stop.
Please.
No, stop.
Tim, that's not fair.
Stop. You already know not to use that fair shit with me.
It has to do with cooperative economics. It has to do with today's
principles. Lord,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. God damn it. Go ahead.
Okay. It has to do with cooperative economics. So one thing that I'm thinking, like we have, when you look at a network of the businesses that Black people own, in essential, if we did a network, right, where these people were working together. So I'm going to give you an example. So we have many print shops, many people that make shirts. So imagine if we were able to produce these shirts for the people within the network, right? And so imagine, and they're not paying, right? Because I feel like sometimes we come up with things that we're going to do, initiatives, but we're all in the same boat, essentially, and maybe don't always have the extra money to spare. But what happens is the people that produce the things that are within their realm for the people within the network, right? And so imagine if it's a shirt. in some type of trendy, like I love my daily toaster shirt, right? I love it, right? So everybody's wearing within the network. We've all got our daily toaster shirt. You know what happens? It starts to get a buzz. People start watching it, just like this this guy that came out with this. It's called Hoodish, right? It starts a buzz. People start buying into it. It's all about these waves, right? But I think that, again, what I love about Kwanzaa, what I love about the program, the directory, is that there we are starting our network, right? Starting our network. But the next piece is for us to work together to provide those services, right, that allow the people within the network to basically do the promoting. But you're all helping and providing someone with something, right? Because we got dentists, we got people who print papers and flyers, you got T-shirts, you got people who work in with the computers and posting and making memes. We need all of that.
Why are you looking like that?
Because now, first, I started the conversation because we didn't even get to the honor piece. I started the conversation talking about Milana Karinga. We moved all the way to here. And I'm just, then, she comes up, we got an idea, right? Now, so she got to share the idea, and there's a lot of people working on stuff like that. And it's like, it's the propaganda, and I hear you about the propaganda, but the piece is, I'm just saying, when do we start? And I ain't just talking about, because many of us here are doing shit. I'm not allowing and giving people opportunity no more. Because listen, if we look at our struggle, there's a new book out about Denmark Vesey, right? And Denmark Vesey won his freedom from a lottery ticket. And using his freedom and the little bit of resources he had, he built up a mass underground movement that was going to be one of the bloodiest insurrections in this motherfucking country. So it was so pertinent, it was so important that they buried that shit. And we only got little scraps of it, right? He did that shit without mass media. He did that shit without all the shit that we talking about we need. I'm like, yo, this is why I keep on saying circling the wagons. Like I said, Lady J, I told you, you young. You want to get out there and you feel like you want to recruit people, because even the Kwanzaa celebration we got right now comes from a collective of individuals that have been together for a while. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't no new blood. It ain't no necessarily no new blood coming in there. And then when it do come, a lot of times it don't last because motherfuckers be falling off like flies around this motherfucker when it come time to do work.
That's why we're bringing up these young people, like through your program,
exactly,
training, that will carry the torch when we cannot.
And that's not.
And there's been a lot of young people there doing a lot of great things, and I use this hashtag "good in the hood." You know, we have so much good going on in the hood, but no one promotes it. You know, we don't get to see these images, and that's the problem. But I mean, we promote it, you know, but we just got to continue to do it, even when it looks like it's not working. Like I said, our ancestors wrote the blueprint. I don't think there's nothing that they haven't warned us about. I have been telling people about, you know, one thing I've noticed when I read a lot of our African American ancestors, their autobiographies, they all warned about Christmas. That was a theme. Like one summer I just sat and I just read so many all summer, right? And I noticed that I was looking for a common theme, right? Christmas, common theme. Our ancestors have warned us about participating in Christmas and told us the dangers and the things that are impressed upon us at that time. Even during slavery, they were encouraged to spend whatever they had on things that they didn't need and to get drunk. The time when it was acceptable for you to be drunk, and you were given days off. Said it was. Some of them wrote that it was the only time you took a break. Was during that time right now. And they spoke about, and I shared this too, they spoke about New Year's. They said that New Year's, like this idea, you know, as far as the Independence Day, that was when they set off fireworks and things like that because they were still off too. You know, but our ancestors gave us the blueprint. I think that when we go back to Sankofa, when we go back and then we see where we've been, and then like I said, it's ingenuity. We've gotten new technology, we've gotten new thinkers. Our kids are different thinkers. They're strategic. But in order for them to kind of move us forward, they're going to have to go back as well.
So
they're going to have to go back. But the ancestors have given us the blueprint. And Kwanzaa is part of that blueprint. Okay. Kwanzaa is part of that blueprint.
Okay. And doing work. Not just, because Kwanzaa is a celebration of the work. So the harvest we're talking about is we're not in an agricultural society. We're talking about the harvest of your work. And I
you know that the principles give us it gives us the recipe for infrastructure. Like if we know that our communities need infrastructure, those 7 principles give us the recipe, the blueprint for infrastructure, for putting the unity back in our community.
They can. I mean,
but they do. It's period. Flat out. When I look at them, that's what they are, Hakeem.
But when people.
That's what those principles are.
But when you have people, like in a sense, that are so knowledgeable about everything, and they got all the inside scoop, and they could tell you about a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And kind of detract from what you're doing, which is what we started about, right? You know what I'm saying? Because family, I'm gonna tell you right now, any records that you're looking at, you need to really actually see if you can find some elders that was actually there, so that you can find out what really
primary sources
went down.
I say.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, now the woman that was abused or the women that was abused by Malana Karenga, we got, that's firsthand. That's shit. They testified in court. But any paperwork that's coming outside of any of that shit, talking about what he did and what he was involved with, because let me tell you, when I was looking through my elders' paperwork, what they would do, because now, and this is another reason, and then also I need y'all to understand, family, the line of individuals, the real gorillas out there, right? The real warriors out there, because they're so serious that I don't even say nigga when I'm talking to them. Because listen to me. The real ones out there, right? If they had any proof, real proof, that homeboy was like that, he wouldn't exist no more. That's how real they were about that. You know what I'm saying now? But check this out. When I was going through Nomos, when he was showing me his file, I'm going through his file, and you see all these black lines. So, because when the FBI give you a classified file, what they do is they have to go through and they have to, when you demand your file, they have to go through and they have to mark out names, right? And it's just hundreds and hundreds of black marks on his paperwork. So whenever somebody is telling me that somebody is such and such and blah, 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 I have to always step back and consider the fact, right? Consider the fact of my elders' paperwork. Because according to all the black marks that was on there, some might have been real, some might have just been a fake to throw him off. He was surrounded, according to what they were saying, he was surrounded by agents. And I know that shit wasn't possible.
He was surrounded by what did you say, Hakeem?
He was surrounded by agents. All the black marks that was on the paper, he was surrounded. And it wasn't no way possible. And some of the shit that you would read after the black mark was shit that only people that he knew directly could give that information. So now, not only by us getting this information, we may be compromising ourselves because we're looking at it and we are able to identify some of the people that have black marked out, and we don't even know if that shit really happened like that. So now, when people come at me about Malana Karenga or anybody from the 60s or the 70s, I'm kind of, boom, I hear you, but I need you to be careful, family, because the same tactics that they used back then, they're going to start using real soon here, too. If they haven't already.
They already do.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
you know what, Hakeem, now that you say that, It's like when you watch some of they've showed it in movies before, but the dude that don't want to give up the information, then the police will pick him up and then make him look like he's an
Oh
informant. And like, if you
man.
don't give us what we want to give you, then we're gonna just put you in here like you was anyway. Then we're gonna drop you off and let everybody see you with us to make it look like you are. So you might as well sell it.
Mm.
And then they don't, and they do just that. They make it look like they have a friendly relationship with the police officers, and the police officers create this image that makes people think, oh, okay, so you one of them, and
Mm.
when they really wasn't. But that's part of their tactic.
That's part of their tactic, and then also another part of their tactic is another part of their tactic is to get people to turn on each other. And
Yeah,
actually, family, I want you to just think about how shit goes down in our community now. This is why
right.
I
Because
got
they do that now to get people to turn against each other, and it works.
see, and it's self-perpetuating. I'm just trying to tell you, this is why I try to be a peacekeeper in our community and keep people working together because I know I've seen this shit for myself. And the shit is so heartbreaking. And then and this is why
Absolutely.
I mean this is why I this is this is why, because Lady J is not wrong, family. I want let me when she talk about mass media, and I don't want her to get a big head about this shit
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
spreading the word. But the issue is, the more people we bring in, the more confusion we bring in because we don't have a mechanism to handle people coming in. We don't. And we need to be honest about that. And that's something that we can do. And that's something that we can set up. It becomes dangerous the more motherfuckers that are around us. Because I'm telling you, all it takes is one rumor and people will start dying. People will start dying. And y'all ain't never been in that situation. I don't want y'all to be in that situation. I mean, family, it has not been turned up on us yet. The heat, the pressure is high, right? But the heat has not been turned up on us yet. And the question we have to have: who is the central court that's gonna be ready for that shit? When I tell you that they snatched Normal up and put this nigga in jail, was about to put him away for the rest of his life, I'm serious. With Geronimo Pratt, they set him up. There is case after case. Once the heat goes up and they start arresting motherfuckers and people, they gonna start making up shit. But yet, we need to reach the millions. Nigga, I don't need the millions. I need the 250 that's in that room to start practicing our principles. I need for them and some of the young people to start coming to some of these different meetings, getting involved in different organizations, and let's start working. You know,
And I get that.
because
I get that.
because people that be talking, they don't understand the dangers, and then when you talking down on people, you don't even understand their whole story. You don't understand it. So you go off and you start coming up with these fucking crazy theories, and some of you niggas is just y'all so deep. You're so deep that you're no earthly good.
Right.
Just bury yourself in that deep ass hole that you're living in, nigga, because you ain't doing nothing but causing confusion.
Yeah,
Pop.
and that, I mean, and that, I think that we could. I think that there should be a inner circle or a root with branches, and only certain people can make it to the root. And then but it's the whole thing. But I get what you're saying too, because the more you get, the higher chance you get of being infiltrated or whatever. But
Oh, we
I
already
think you should
infiltrated,
still
sis. It's
do
just
it, but there's just only that core 25 that stays in the know of all the intricate things. But I get what you're saying. Like I said, one thing I know is from, and I learned and going to class on Friday, reading different books. Even this is something that Elder West has spoke on, that sometimes two things can exist at the same time. And I think both of those situations are existing at the moment.
man, and one of the best systems is a book called the starfish and I can't remember. It's I have to look it up. It's called The Starfish, and somebody out there read the book. I know somebody out there because this is a good reading because the story hinges on if you take like a snake and you cut the head off a snake, that whole body is dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you take a starfish and you cut the starfish into pieces and throw it back in the ocean, that starfish grows into different starfish. And
Right.
the organizational structure we are formulating, that we are building, is a starfish type organization where there is no it's that's the organization that when they talk about Al Qaeda and they talk about all those are the type of that's the type of structure that they are having problem with right now, because when you kill one, another one is popping up on the horizon. It's a starfish type organization. It's organized. It's happening organically, right? And once you start trying to deal with this system and you got one head, all they gotta do is they find that one head, they will
Right.
infiltrate and they will cut their head off. Hey, family, make sure you like and share the video because we want to get to the mass media. But hey family, let's make sure we are ready for the masses when they
Is it
come.
the starfish and the spider?
Starfish and the spider. There we go. Who number is this? I don't recognize this number.
How you gonna recognize my number yesterday, but not today?
Dang. I was trying to prove Navita wrong, but okay, all right, you busted me out. That's messed up. All right.
But I'm gonna hang up and tune in, and then after the show, I have to get with you today, brother. So
All right.
you'll be out by driving park. So I got some things to give you. So
All right, cool. Well, I mean, you ain't
just
coming
give me
on
a
because
ring.
I'm not doing the next giveaway until Imani for us. It'll be Nia for Kwanzaa.
Oh, okay. I'm so okay. I thought tomorrow is the Millennium School.
Tomorrow is. You ain't coming to that?
I don't know yet.
What?
I don't know yet.
See, that's that COINTEL shit. That's that COINTEL shit. I'm trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to
No,
tell you.
that's that go and tell shit.
Go with that too. You know that. Yeah, all right.
Don't talk to me crazy shit. So, I'm going to, just give me a call and then I'll let you know. I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I got some stuff for the girls, so I want you to,
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, Quasi Low, what's going on? We got Lady J on the line as well. I still ain't toast yet.
Family, Lady J.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thanks for asking.
What's up?
So you was you listening in, or you just called in because you got the text, or what's going on?
I just looked on Facebook and saw that the show was on.
So you have no idea what we are. Well, we about Lady J. You
Yeah, I
got.
mean it's going on. I see it's been on. You've been on for like an hour and a half. So it's
I
probably about
have.
wrapped up
Oh
time. You
my
know me,
God.
come through when it's almost over and start a conversation from last another hour and a half.
So, Lady J.
Yes.
You got something else you want to share before we move in? Because I'm gonna do this. I gotta do this toast because that's why we here. And I'm gonna let people know.
Is that I'm sure that there were several things that 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 I did want to discuss, but I don't want to put you into a fit of rage again. I think.
Oh shit! Damn, I missed what I done missed.
I'm over here sweating.
You missed a lot.
And she hosting tonight,
I'm
so you
over
already
here
know.
sweating.
Look, she hosting tonight, so you know it's about to be on at Kwanzaa.
I do want to say this. I do want to say this.
See, and then she laughed. But go ahead. She about to set me off.
Yeah, I do want to say this. I think that it's most important that we not forget my African American family, my African American, us African Americans, that we not forget that we built this country. Our ingenuity is what our sweat, our tears, our labor. We built this country, and I just don't think that I don't want us ever to forget that. this country, even coming from the motherland, we did great things there as well. Everywhere we've been, we've done great things. The Negro speaks rivers, right? The Negro speaks rivers. There's been many times in history when we have been knocked down, and each time we have been able to rise. And so to I just want to impart that, and I just want to say that, I do understand that a lot of times we look at what we've done in the past, what our ancestors have done, and look at them as evidence of failure, when in fact, again, I think that we should go back there, and that's where we should start and build upon that. So, I just, yeah, that's it.
All right. So, shouts out to Brian Keith Trice. What's up, son? Everything going good? Shouts out to Miss Kim Carswell. Hope all is well over there across the seas. Um, but we still ain't did the libation. Brother, Quasi, you got something you want to bring up? Because I'm sweating and I got this gonna be the shirt I'm wearing tonight because Lady J demanded I have some orange on, so I got to find something that matches this.
I probably need to send you a picture because I don't want you to mess it up, because I don't want your orange not to be my orange.
Well,
so I just probably need to. Mine is like a reddish orange, so I will send you a picture.
It's all listen. For you coming on my stage? How about that? Let's look at it.
I know.
Okay, all right. I can't mess up my
I'm just
stage.
trying to be a friend.
I can't mess up my stage, Lady J. Don't start nothing. Don't start none. It won't be none, baby. Don't start none. It won't be none.
Quasi, who do you think will be starting stuff? Me or Hakim?
Oh, they call me Bennett.
Huh?
I don't know nothing.
You think your name was Quasi?
I'll be starting stuff. How about that? I'm gonna just go with me. I'm gonna pick C. I'm gonna check the third box.
There you go. There you go. So, but we was talking about now. Actually, the initial start of the conversation was about all of the posts that I've been seeing about Malana Karinga in connection to Kwanzaa and stuff like that. So I wanted to address that. So I addressed that whole piece about COINTEL and how a lot of shit that people think they know, they really don't know. They've been programmed to know, possibly. You know what I'm saying? And then also I need to stress the fact that I'm not a millennial. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of his. But this shit right here, Kwanzaa, shit, man. Listen, this right here, this cultural stabilizer right here, this belongs to the people. This belongs to the people. So y'all can say whatever y'all want, right? But like I said, if you won, I ain't gonna say not even if you haven't really done your research and if you have not really explored the programs that were unleashed on black folks at that time, you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of y'all niggas honestly think that all lives evolve like a fucking movie. A lot of y'all honestly think that that Michael Meck's total history is encapsulated in that movie done by Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they said Alex Haley didn't even really know Malcolm X like that. Like I heard there was a lot of falsification even in Alex Haley's connection to Malcolm X.
Well, I mean, Navy, like I said, I don't know. I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said.
So what y'all was talking about, Karanga?
Well, I mean, yeah, because this is, there's a lot of memes on this. A lot of memes, a lot of people talking about Karanga and stuff like that. And, and of course, talk about Karanga, you're touching on Kwanzaa. Talk about him before Kwanzaa, goddammit. Let's go. If his trash need to be taken out, let's take it out before we get into these holidays. Don't get on here and try to get motherfuckers to sit at home and do nothing because that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because that's what a lot of these niggas, they don't celebrate nothing. I don't do Thanksgiving. I don't do Christmas. I don't do 4th of July. I don't do nothing. I'm just a spiritual motherfucker. And every now and then I go to the woods and smoke some weed.
That's me.
You go
I think
every now and then you go to the woods and smoke some weed.
I like to think from the perspective. I like to think that I celebrate, or I ain't gonna say I do, but ideally I would like to celebrate every day as a gift. But because Because I do kind of feel where people come from. But one thing I've kind of gotten to over the last couple of years, like if you look at my Facebook timeline this year compared to a few years ago, or like maybe 3-4 years ago, I probably was going in like on Christmas and just like going in on people that celebrated Christmas, But now it's like I got my opinions, but it's just my opinion. You know what I mean? And my opinion is something that could change just from an experience. So it's like
I don't go in.
I value.
I don't go in on Christmas, but I said I'm the same way as you. Same exact way. My timeline has definitely changed. I no longer go in on Christmas, but I will post and share. And just like any consumer holiday, it's just foolishness. People spending money they don't have for things they don't need. But that's what I mean when I say we have to have a propaganda campaign.
We were talking. I'm sorry. But no, we was talking about how we be giving each other shit for spending a little bit of money that we spend. But it's a consumer culture for one. Mm-hmm. We only human just like anybody else. So stuff is nice. We don't buy as much stuff as other people because we don't have the same spending power. Listen, white people on average have like 10 times more.
That is true.
Let me finish my sentence, please. White people have 10 times more disposable income than we have total income. So the little shit that we buying, like we buy Jordans that cost $200. I used to give niggas hell for buying Jordans. Even in that conversation yesterday, that shit kind of adjusted my thought process a little bit. People out there buying $5,000 pairs of Gucci shoes. You know what I mean? Like white people, they like that's in their closet. They got several pairs of $100, $500, $600, $800 shoes. Like they only own $600, $700 pairs of shoes. So we want to buy a few little pairs of $100, $200 shoes. I mean, I definitely do think that we could do better, but at the same time, I mean,
we probably have a 1.3 trillion buying power.
So, but Lady J, hold on, Lady J. I'm gonna challenge Lady J. I'm gonna challenge you on that on here. What does that mean?
Okay, so let me say this. It's not that we're not consumers. It's that we don't own any wealth. That is the problem.
So how do you have buying power if you don't have wealth?
The problem is that it's not that we don't spend money. We spend this, but we have probably more disposable income.
Then who?
We choose to make it disposable.
No, disposable income by definition is money that you have left over after you paid all your bills. Okay, we don't even pay all of our bills.
Let me say this, Quasi. To not again, we are in the midst of the Great Awakening. What I see my people doing are spending their money and not investing, not buying equity. And that's why we don't have wealth. We have money. We don't own wealth. And that is very different. That is very different. And so what my motto is that people spend money they don't have on things they don't need because they are socialized. It is by those who own and distribute the wealth. They control the media, so they have socialized us into being a part of this consumer society. This came soon after slavery. Soon after slavery, the consumer society was birthed. And it was all to keep us. It was just a new form of slavery, just the same as the penal system, a new form of slavery to keep the people in bondage.
Now,
sure,
and that's just what it is.
I'll tell you another huge form of slavery.
If we want change, we have to learn how to keep more of it in our pocket. We have to learn how to buy properties.
Okay, check this out. Bam, I'm about to paint you a picture. The same exact thing that people are doing when they're buying shoes is what people are doing when they're talking about people who are buying shoes. We're buying shoes to have it's like social equity. We're trying to compete with somebody and show. But neither does talking about people that do it. You know what I'm saying?
And then also, but hold on, you haven't defined mine.
I'm gonna tell you the difference. So again, you talked about how white people owning and distributing wealth being in different brackets, this, that, and so forth. But we also know that they spend their money differently, right? And so, example, I don't go in on people that buy Jordans, but I like cowboy boots. My cowboy boots are more expensive than Jordans. But you know the difference? They last me a lifetime. They're going to last me a lifetime. That's the same way I have an affection for purses and handbags. But the thing about it is, a quality handbag I can hand down to my daughter. So there's certain things that we're going to buy.
So you justify consumerism. You use it. You using quality to justify the very thing that you're talking against.
No, I'm talking about.
What you're doing is creating social equity. It's the same thing that people are buying shoes. I think ultimately it goes back to I'm falling, even in what I'm about to say, I'm falling guilty of what I'm saying is what we are all collectively doing. Is what does that say? From the Bible, don't talk about the speck in your neighbor's eye and while ignoring the boulder in yours. You know what I mean? And that's what we're all doing. That's what each and every one of it's a consumer culture. That's the basis of the consumer culture. Is, oh, your shoes are sweet, well mine is sweeter. Oh, your way that you spend money is dumb because I'm smart. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the future, but you're just thinking about now. I'm better than you. That's the ultimate bottom line that we're all trying to do is show our value. We're all trying to show our value.
Nobody's any better. But this is the thing. Whenever they switch the equation, now what we have is a community and a society based on the things that you have. Capital THINGS, the things. And historically in our communities, we based it on the jobs that you had, the service that you provided to the people, the work that you did in your community. And the minute that we have to go back to that. Weighing that is.
So let's go back to it. Meet me at 9 a.m. Monday morning at Broad and High, and we're gonna come up with some shit.
That's counterproductive to our progression as a people.
How so? So give me a time and a place. Give me a time and a place where you and I can meet and discuss some progressive shit.
Oh, we can meet.
Literally. Who is this on the line?
I mean, if you want to,
maybe put in the video, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Y'all killing me. So y'all is mutual.
You have to meet at the Kwanzaa tonight. She hosting.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm shy.
But we ain't gonna be able to meet.
No,
I mean, Kwanzaa.
I came with y'all.
Okay, you're right. I'll be there. I'll be at Kwanzaa, and I will be there.
Why you came with us today, Miss Lavita?
I came with this idea somehow that buying Jordan is the same as investing in some property.
That ain't what he said. Nobody
said
that.
You can cash that in and help yourself. You can pass that down to your children. You can pass that to your community. We can have Gye-Nyame Journey doing events there where we don't have to go and pay other people to do events that. I mean, I don't even see how.
Are you saying that I said that? That I said that Jordans was?
Oh, I thought I heard you said it's all the same.
You said social equity.
No,
you did what I do. You got mad and start hearing shit. That's what I do.
That's why I think that
okay, my bad.
She called in and checked
these discussions in person. We need to be having these discussions in person because.
Well, that's cool. I mean, even in person, people can have the things can be miscommunicated, and I misunderstood that.
But it's just a whole different.
Yeah, I misunderstood.
The conversation can just be a little different. It's just a little different conversation because, in the sense, like
well, you're right.
This is the back signal. This show is the back signal. This is like, yo, we out here doing this. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna say what I've really been thinking on here. You know,
I heard you on that, brother. I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like we just like to. That's everybody. Black people have been stripped of our pride and self-respect. So no matter what, we're going to try to get a little piece of it back. Whether it's a pair of Jordans, whether it's a dope ass point on a radio show, we're just trying to get respect.
And that's true. That's true. That's what I would
say.
Part of the issue. That is what they're trying to do, or some type of acceptance or respect, or look at me, I am
somebody.
Or,
by design.
We could do that in other ways that are
by design,
more
Lady J.
profitable to us as a community as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying? And
economics
I
is
wish
one of the
that
9
someone would have
areas
taught
of
me
life.
that type
Economics
of
is.
thing.
So, and
Go
Yeah, I mean,
ahead,
I haven't bought a pair of Jordans in like over 5 years. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, this is my thing. Let me just speak for myself. I was never taught about, I grew up poor, okay? And certain things like owning properties and things, I just never fathomed I could even do anything like that because you know what? You can't squeeze blood from a turnip. And, black people, this is just my opinion, I didn't know anybody that really had owned property, especially like commercial property, not within my circle. So those are things I never even considered trying to obtain. So things like credit and all that shit, it meant nothing to me. So now I look back on the years when I used to get
speak truth. I said
when I used to get them big refunds from the government, and the first thing I would do was go get some clothes, go get some of the newest cell phone that came out, go to the club and floss and things. And no one ever stopped and said, you know what, sister? If you took that money, and then who says if I would have listened or not? I don't know. But I never felt there was, matter of fact, there was a time when I wanted to buy a house. I was only 21, and I was discouraged by other adults. If you don't want that responsibility, don't do that. So I just never felt like it was a thing to do. But now that I'm supposed to be 51 years old, I wish I at least had some commercial property that I own, something that I can leave with my son, something that we get in a bind, we could sell that shit and have the money that we may need. But I never was taught those types of financial things because I was always told kind of like, those are not obtainable for you. Don't make enough money to do that. You can't do that. That's for the white folks. So they've been doing it, but you cannot achieve those things. And then I sit in a bookstore where Zawadi is, where a brother owns that whole strip. You dig? Where he owns the strip over on Alum Creek. You know what I'm saying? There's a brother that owns the little strip mall with the salon and stuff on Long Street. And I was just told yesterday in our conversation, there's 150 black millionaires in the city of Columbus alone.
Let's go.
So what makes me any different than them? Why couldn't I obtain it? Because I didn't have that mindset to obtain it.
Well,
I think that we
you know, Gye-Nyame.
Open your eyes, Gani. I'm gonna comb through your hair with
Hold on.
We perpetuate
Y'all about to hit that motivation shit.
Right. And if you could do it, if your brother could do it, why couldn't I do it?
Because you wasn't chose. You wasn't chose. That's why. You wasn't chose. I'm just letting you know. Let's keep it all the way real. Your politics do not align with this whole function. Your way of thought does not align with this shit. And because it does not, you won't be chosen. I'm just letting you know because it's funny. It's funny that we got 150 millionaires in Columbus, but then you got to ask, you know what I'm saying? What are these 150 doing for black folks?
Right, name one.
I mean, that's a whole different topic.
No, that's no. I mean,
but the topic of that we can obtain that money is what we're talking about right now.
We don't know either way. We don't know either way.
We were talking about is it even financially accessible? That's what we were talking about. So the diversion now
I ain't diverting now. You go back to what you want.
They're not doing anything.
Do you? Well, who? Which one is? I mean, because maybe that's information that we would need to know. See, that's why we would have a directory. No, Lady J. I don't want you to share one of your favorites.
HBCUs stay open? How do HBCUs stay open?
From what I heard, a lot of them are about to close.
Don't they have a number?
A few of them have been closing. I heard Howard is on the verge of collapse at this point in time.
But how have they maintained themselves? Well,
first off, who is Howard named after? How about Spellman?
Let's just answer the question. Don't divert
No, I'm not.
us
No. I am
into
answering the question by
something else.
asking.
Can we get the
I am
question about
doing.
what you asked
I am
first?
doing
You want
African.
to answer
I'm
the
doing
question
African deep thought. I'm doing African deep thought because she asking me a question. Because we call them HBCUs, but who is Spelman named after? Who is Howard named after? Who are some of these other black universities named after? And who were the
And we know,
founders? Who is it?
well, they were, first of all, we know that they were founded by a Jew, I think it was, and an African American. And a lot of Jewish names and white folks' names were affiliated with HBCU. But just like
So that's how they
Kwanzaa,
will
we're
stand
not
open.
going to
So I
worry
asked
about
them.
what
I
people
asked you a
name
question.
We're going to worry about
Ooh, you just brought it full circle.
Bring it.
I asked you the
Like
question.
I said, we said
You got
we
you
don't
with that
look
one.
at the
I
big
can't even
picture.
lie. You got me with that one.
We don't look at the big picture. We refuse to look at the big picture.
Wait. What I missed something. What happened? What just happened? I just heard all this
You got
amen.
me with that one, man. She's like kind of comparing the whole HBCU.
I'm not going to compare the name of who named the Howard University because I'm not clear about that.
No, see, now wait, hold on. This is where we go off. Because now I'm all of a sudden diverted. No, I asked the question because she asked how has these universities been staying open? And I answered the question by asking the question. Now, who are some of the major donors? You look at who they're named after. Those were some of the major donors.
They could be named after Boo Boo the Fool, but if they are producing
you're not. First off, no, see,
like I care about the principles of Kwanzaa, not the person that created it.
Listen. Now, that right there is taking it off the track and kind of comparing apples to oranges. She asked how it stayed open. Kwanzaa is not. Wait, hold on. Kwanzaa is not celebrated because people love Malana Karinga. That's a big difference. Hold on. So now how the fuck you gonna listen? The question was asked very simply. How has these universities been funded? Now, and I asked the question, who are they named after? Now that's different than Kwanzaa being supported because people love Malana Karinga. Kwanzaa supported because they love Kwanzaa, not because they love Malana Karinga. Hold on. Back to her original question so I could maybe I need to lay this out for you. Listen to what the question was. She asked how these black universities stay open. I asked her to give me the history.
And I'm telling you through a number of African American donors. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling you. And so that's why I asked the question. And so we get into this mindset. I hate it. Like we're quick to say that black people don't have any money. We're quick to say that we don't do anything for our people. We're quick to say a whole lot of things, but I know that black people made Kwanzaa happen.
Oh my God.
Black people made Kwanzaa happen, correct?
Oh my God.
You have to come up with the money, the ends and the dividends.
God.
We do this. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I hear you.
Right.
I hear you.
It's
Go buy a house, Lady J.
The Martin Luther King Center.
Go.
That's owned by a white entity.
It sure is. I'm not down that at all. I'm not arguing that. See, but hold on. I'm not arguing that. Because when I tried to move it to a black organization, nobody wanted to do it. I'm just saying. But hey.
I mean, I get that, but I'm still going to use it to I'm not going to
listen. See, but y'all, and this is part of my issue. I brought up a point because I was trying to get her to answer her own question. And all of a sudden, now it's all the way to the Martin Luther King Center.
I did answer my question.
No, you didn't. Because part of that shit is wrong.
Through black donors, there are a number of institutions
part
that
of
are saying.
That's part of it. Let's keep it real.
And that's all I'm saying is that we must.
And I'm saying there's a part that you want to ignore.
Not perpetuate
you want to look right over
this idea that my people don't have money and that my people are not elevating themselves and my people. The minute we left the South, we began building successful communities.
I am known.
The minute.
Well, where they at? Where they at? Because I'm still waiting for you to point something out because you already said they exist.
That's for you to find out. No,
that's some bullshit. That's how you get out of an argument. You don't bring that shit up on my show no more until you give me a place to put that shit.
I'm not gonna have that. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you crazy, Hot Tail.
I'll be crazy.
You're crazy.
That's why I get up and do this show every day, because I'm crazy, goddammit. You know, because I'm crazy for my people. I'm crazy in love with my people. And I'm crazy about my people having the truth. And when motherfuckers come on here without facts, right? Come on here.
What's understood don't need to be explained, Hot Tail.
But it's not understood, though. That's what I'm saying.
It's not.
All you have to do is look at our history.
I don't know.
Look at our history.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at. I think I might be a little bit more versed in it than you. Because obviously you coming from some illusionary bullshit.
Man, they will perpetuate these stereotypes anyway.
Oh my God! Listen, we the only people. You got on here talking about black spending power. You the one got on here. You the one that came on here talking about black spending power. You the one came on here talking about black spending power, which is a fucking illusion. No other people describes what people do as spending power. Why is the black people the only people that talk about black spending power? We the only one that talk about spending power. You don't hear about white spending power. You don't hear about Asian spending power, and you might every now and then hear about Hispanic or spending power. Why are we the only people that talk about spending power? And does that spending power include rent money? Money to fix the washer and dryer? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It does, because when you look at the wealth statistics for black families, and I tell you this all the time, but nobody want to listen, and my kids is running around me right now thinking they rich because our families are not being honest. The median black family has about $1,700 worth of wealth, when the median white family has over $135,000. This means 50% over, 50 below. Now,
I mean, 1700. That same thing.
But now we talk about wealth.
Can I say something real quick? Can I say something? That's a fact, actually. That the wealth distribution that he just stated that's a fact. That's true.
But yet, motherfuckers want to motherfuckers want to imagine and motivate themselves to jump the gap.
You gotta be versed in statistics when they give you the numbers. We gotta understand that you're talking about a small proportion, right, of white people who own and distribute the wealth, and of course,
Lady J, first off, Lady J, stop. Lady J, just stop, because I'm about to get very disrespectful. Listen, I'm about to get very disrespectful with you, right? So I'm just gonna ask you to stop.
Don't do it.
Now, because this the issue. When we say median, that means that 50% are above and 50% are below. So when I say 1,700 for black families, that means that 50%, let's say 49% of us are above, 49% of us are below. So that means that 49% of us have more than 1,700. So that could be anything from 1,701 up to $100 million. But 50% of us have below $1,700. That's what that means.
That's a fact.
Now, wait, hold on. So wait, time out, ladies, and let me finish, because I want to paint this example, and I want to burn it into your goddamn head before you come on my show with these illusions. When we say median, once again, class in session, you listening. When we say median, that means that 49 to 50% are above, 49 to 50% are below.
You're saying median.
Stop.
Are you saying median?
Stop.
Are you saying median?
Lady J, can I finish? Let me finish, because this is that illusionary bullshit.
Right.
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing.
I majored in math and spent mucho time at the graduate level with statistics. And Sister J, you are off on this. You are way off.
It's a median.
Wait, hey, Lady J, see, this is what I'm talking about. First off, check yourself. Hold on, wait, hold on, Kwame. Lady J, this is Brother Kwame.
Statistics is to help to deal with those disparate incomes like you're talking about. It's to deal with that 1%, that 10% that have the majority of the wealth, as opposed to that the rest of the 90% or 99%. it takes into account all that. That's why
The
one
definition-
talks median statistics
Right.
rather
The definition-
than.
Can I say something,
Go
please?
ahead.
Let me read the
Gonna read the
definition for median. For median.
Can
The
I
definition for
say
median.
this?
Can I read the definition for median, please?
Go ahead.
Denoting
Casey.
or relating to a value or quantity lying at the midpoint of a frequency distribution
That's
of
why I said
observed values
the median.
or quantities such that there is an equal probability of falling above or below it.
Right.
But more importantly, understand when the median number is given. That's what Sister J is not understanding. There's a reason for using a median when you're talking about incomes and things of that nature, because there's such a disparate difference between the highest value and the lowest value. In other words, the spread is so far apart between the incomes that to just use an average will give you a misleading information. So that's why they use the median.
Right. Yeah. Now, I want to say on Hot Tens, I've read that article that you said, and I agree with it when it said 17,000 in wealth.
No, 1,700. It's not 17,000. It's 1,700.
Wealth. A person can make $70,000 a year and still have not invested properly, borrow money, and then when you go, the only thing they have to account for it may be a car, a refrigerator they own, a TV they own, a washer and dryer. That amounts to maybe, you know what I'm saying, $5,000 in what you got in wealth if you died today. And I think that still that statistic can also attest to the fact that there may be some, yes, there may be some people that, well, there are people that fall in the lower income bracket, but it also includes a group of people who make a decent amount of money and they blow it. You know, they go, I see people taking trips every year outside the country where they can't even afford to buy a car to ride around in. And they can't, and those are things that they will count as a, because it's, what do you call that? You know, when you can return some shit and get your money on it. What do they call that? Begins with a D. You know, what did you say, Kwame? Yeah. So it's like, I think when you go around to the average black person's house, and a lot of black people who don't even own their homes, so their wealth is based on things like cars, you know, refrigerators, washer and dryers. That's what they're basing their wealth on, things like that. That all depreciate a lot, but it's, you know, but when they go to white folks and they have to, they start to go onto their income. I mean, a lot of them are owning their homes and they own a business. They, you know, they have other things outside of cars, refrigerators, and things that they're using to equate what they call wealth. And I'm just saying that I feel like some of us can attain that wealth if we just make better financial choices.
I ran the streets growing up. You see what I'm saying? I know a bunch of dudes a bunch of people, like, I know a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of black people, a lot of different types of black people that earn different types of money in different types of ways, different amounts. But, like, I think we'll agree that a large portion of our population adheres to the street code. You know, and a lot of people would kind of live like a lot of young men. And I know a lot of dudes that just don't work. They don't really do shit and are dependent. Like, it's just dependent.
And do you think that that's reflective?
But that's not what we're talking about. You're going to the next step. We haven't even agreed on the economic. So you're trying to jump to the next step.
Right,
and that's when we begin lost. It's like, okay, agree,
Okay.
And we're talking about facts here. Like, so if we don't agree on a fact, then in a sense, you're just being a disruptor to the flow.
What's your name? Your name is Quasi. Your name is Quasi Low.
Yes.
Man, I gotta get ready to eat.
So
Yes.
I just want to point out, I think this is the second time that you have like attacked me or
Oh
my
my
views.
God.
I'm not a disruptor.
But I don't do that victim shit though. So I mean, I
I'm
agree
just
because I think that your views
telling
sometimes
you.
be mad poisonous.
I'm just
So,
telling you, but it's my view, and I don't attack you or
so you
I
have
don't
the right to
attack
be wrong
anyone
as
for
fuck.
their
You
views.
feel what I'm saying? Like you
Okay,
say that
and
shit like, oh,
I don't mind. I
you
don't
better take my
mind.
resume.
Y'all ain't even got my wife
I
involved in
don't
this shit.
mind saying that I'm wrong. I don't think
Lady
that
J,
I
I
know
think
it
you
all.
have a problem. I think you have a problem with saying
I
you're wrong.
want to know, but I don't think that I know it all.
You don't just, it's not just that you say stuff that's not accurate or factual. You also say that shit loud as fuck. You see what I'm saying? That should be frustrating to me.
I apologize.
So, yeah.
I apologize.
Like, yeah, I say that shit and I will back that shit up and I will say it again and again. Like, it will be a third time and a fourth time. You see what I'm saying?
I apologize, but again, the only thing that I'm asking you, sir, and that I'm making you aware of is that this I can recall that we were on this show before, not this particular show, but you kind of attacked me, and I'm not that type of person. I'm not that type of person. So if I'm rubbing you the wrong way, I apologize. But
it's like, not, yo, ask. I mean, like, I ride with Hakeem, like, period. Like, I ride and die with Hakeem for real. And we don't necessarily have to agree on everything, but if I respect what Hakeem is doing, and sometimes I think that the way that you come across is just aggressive. But then you want to flip the script on me and say that I'm being aggressive. But yes, I'm aggressive. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to try to convolute it down and act like I'm not.
I wouldn't attack you, but that's why my name is
Hold on now. Wait, hold on. We all gonna come together.
That's why my name is the unrelenting J. Ross. My name is the unrelenting
Sometimes
J.
you need to know when to relent. God damn.
And I did.
You're still talking.
I just asked the man a question, and then he said that I'm refusing to acknowledge facts. I listened to everything that you guys said. All I'm saying is that I'm going to go read it because you said it sounds like, I didn't know Sister Levita spoke and she talked about owning wealth. And I've already acknowledged that owning wealth and having money are two different things, right? So if it's about owning wealth, and if that is what your statistics are speaking to, Mr. Tatim, I would be in total agreement. Because I know for a fact that we don't own wealth.
On that note, family, I hope to have cleared up the math issue, and I'm out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I wanted to meet you. Let me finish chewing. I'm sorry. I wanted to meet you in person because I feel like that's the thing about this radio show. Like, it's the radio or like the whole internet and all of these different forms that we have of communicating without like it's a lot of communication without responsibility, without taking ownership of not just what we're saying, but the energy that we putting off. You see what I'm saying? And that's something yes, I'm talking to you and listening and being in the space with you when we're talking and when we're sharing ideas. Sometimes the way you come off, I want to respond with hostility. That's what it kind of pulls out of me because I feel like that's what you get. And I'm like, in a sense, I feel like you be being a bully sometimes. Like you be trying to bully the airwaves. Like, well, I mean, I can be a bully too. And I mean, I'm not necessarily like that, but like, it's more when I do it, my perspective. And I'm actually glad that you said it because I wanted it to come up. I wanted it to be spoken so I could say this, that I do it. I'm glad that you noticed I came at you like that because I wanted to paint a picture of how you was coming at people because from my perspective,
I don't know.
I know what you're sending out.
I apologize. I think I've been coming on this show for about probably like 5 years, right? And I have my own show, and what I speak is just my truth and how I speak, my tone. Partly is because, like Hatim, I'm hard of hearing. So sometimes I could speak in a way that could be misconstrued. And I get that all the time, especially working with white people. I get it all the time. So I get it. But I don't mean no harm. I come in peace.
Nobody knows.
I only come in peace. And Hatim knows that.
All right, now, hey.
Hatim knows that. And I apologize that it could be taken any other way but I would never, I just felt this is the second time that I felt somewhat attacked, like my character. I think that my views, that is just like you said, sir. They could change. I'm not married to anything, not at all. I tell teachers meet all the time, and allows me to have paradigm shifts. That's why I come on this show.
A person's views are, in a sense, married to their character. The views, especially the views that you express, you're expressing your stance. You're expressing who you are, your character. So, like, the only way I have to evaluate your, especially having not met you in person, the only way that I can evaluate your character.
I don't know if it's my character or my ideology.
The difference. That's like I think you kind of.
I think there's something.
What is the difference? What is it?
Yeah, I don't know that we have time for me to explain it. Like I said, you said that it would be best that we meet in person, and I think that once you feel my, get my energy, then maybe we'll come to agreement. But yeah, that's all I can say. I don't know that. I don't.
Hey, hold on. This is what we're gonna do. We having choirs tonight, family. I'm about to do the toast because I got to go get my daughters. So I'm gonna do this toast real quick. Like I said, I can leave the line open if y'all want to do the conference. Y'all can do the conference, but I need to do this toast because we ain't even toasted yet, and we got people. I ain't even looked back at the chat. Let me see what's going on in the chat. All right, cool. We got Jeremy Journey. Sister J is just passionate. I think, and passion is good, but like I said, sometimes we all run up into issues and shit, so it's cool. But here we go, family. First off, getting on to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call it Creator. We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our ancestors. Y'all know we got a long list, and as you can see, y'all see right here, it's in the Kwanzaa book, the Daily Toast. You get hold of it with the Kwanzaa book, right? We giving it out. We got our two ads in. Here we go. Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robert and Texana Davis, Herm Brown Sr., Rosalie Tilly, George and William Walter, Christopher Penny, Gaston, Lena, Uncle Chris, I'm Fiend, Cleveland, Geneva, Ron. Can you tell Cleveland to get ready, please? Hello? Okay. Cleveland and Geneva Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Cecil Ellis, Alvaro Brown, Jimmy Gaines, Herm Brown II, Barbara Twiggs, Wash Ellis Jr., Katie Ellis, Nikki Ellis, Jamon Jones, Jeremiah Tappan, John Fallar, Montague Pittman L, Nomo X. Sapet Mine, Rob, Malika Fakur, Dr. Marion Williams, Kojo Kamal, Elder Farmer, Elder Millie Dixon, Tony Clark, Past Yusuf, Weston, Elder Ageni, Elder Ron Coleman, Elder Robert Donaldson, Alfred Brofro, Hector Jr., J. Edwards, Carla Harris, Grace Lundy, Inez Harris, William Bill Moss, Phyllis Rose, Sterling Lucy Wright, Derek L. Pulley, and the Luxor Brothers, Miss Eda Brooks Crawley, Miss Marie Nelson, Mr. Frederick Crawley Sr., Miss Jerry Brunson, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Miss Marie McDowell, Janice Foster, Charles Jordan, Kill Smith, Walter Smith, Richard Triggs, Francis Johnson, Mary Franklin, Jimmy Williams, Daniel Ford, George Gibson, Nana Loretta Clark, Inez McCrae, Fritz Clark, Frankie Justice, Katie Justice, Derek Renderman, Virginia Rogers, Reverend J. Smith, Lois Henderson, Calvin Spratling, Mary Elizabeth Walker, Raymond Walker Sr., Sarah Jane Carter, Michael Ford Jr., Kellen D. Russell, Susie B. Smith, Teresa Clay, Melvin Dale Hines Jr., Herman Copeland, Mildred Copeland, Jenny Clay, Bird Beatty, Sarah Well, Levita Farmer, Agosto Sue, Cheryl Harvey, Aunt Charmaine, Aunt Evelyn, Theolis Hasbury, Harvey Hasbury Sr., Leonard Dickinson, T.C. Islam, Terrell Dunbar, Will Thomas, Sarah Berry, Mark Walsh, Merle B. Thornton, Pearl G. Thornton, Ida Johnson, Florence M. Carter, Joanne Thornton, Edgar Trisha Lewis, Juanita Wright, Robert Wright, George Wright, Mary Eliza Frederick Davis, Mary Elizabeth Rogers, Mary Esther Keechler Reese, Linda Watson Hammonds, Jarrell Giles Watson, Sparrow Slimmy, Seven Lewis, Andrew Holmes, Pearl Moore, Percy Moore Jr., Mildred Owens, Booker T. Bowden, Charlie Hunt, Sammy Stover, Hilda Pearson, Sturgeon Thorne, Richard Thorne, Lavinia Hall, Freeman Bankster, Mary Moss, Ophelia Peacock, Willie Thorne, Napoleon Kennedy, Mark Ramsey, Paul Ramsey, Matt Ramsey, David Ramsey, Charles E. Thorne, Frankie Quails, Eumenia Thorne, Bernice Quails, Ernestine Jackson, Frankie Johnson, Teresa Mormon, Leon Johnson, Charles Bell, Vivian Ramsey, S.E. Johnson, Dorita Johnson, Leon Johnson, James W. West Sr., James Parham, Dana Jones, Henry World, James Farmer, Mary Chavez, Leon Grace, Bessie Johnson, Hattie Levester, Mary Moreland, Paul Moreland, Elder Caleb, Rosemary Martinez, Elder Habitat Wellman, Fred Douglas Triggs Sr., Thelma Triggs, Thomas and Lula Berry, Lacey and Eleanor Howe, Frank and Russell and Davis, Fred Douglas Triggs, the second Vena Triggs, Reverend Eddie Moore, Helen Fuller, Eugene Jackson Sr., Richard Ellis, Silas Alexander, Charles Maxwell, Percy May Alexander, Arthur Reynolds, Stanley Lockhart, Ricky Lockhart, William Lockhart, Woodrow Lockhart, Brenda Porter, Deacon Hargrove, Carla Sawyer, Andrew Parker, Doris Donald, Ellis Murphy, D'Amico Russell, Dillamon Aries, Jean and Ruth Jones, Jana Callahan. List 1. William Walter West, Nigella Perez, Elder Basiji, Fulani, Jimmy Robinson, Gladys Johnson, Valerie Clark, John and Mary Sullivan, Dirk Johnson, Antonio Johnson, Delise Waters, DeFridas Hines, Inez Bostic, Edna Bostic, Winifred Scantleberry, Wilson Haley, Elma Hines, Phyllis Lee, Eugene Spratling, Calvin Spratling, Charles Wooden, Pitty Brown, Roy Lee Prithup Jr., Miriam Johnson, Wilbert Longmire, Edith Catney, Janice Carter, Michael Carter, Leon Pina Carter, Margaret Carter, William Carter, Lisa Jordan, Charles Lee Mosley, Dorothy R. Blair, Ransom Evans Sr., Sam Evans Sr., Nalon Blair Sr., Edward Stevens, Sue Ann Stevens, Joe Davis, Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana. That's them. Timothy Butler, Gene Holmes, Dana Jones, Peter Charles, Christy Nichols, Cardinal Robinson, Rosemary Charles, Ada Pearl, Bob Ingalls, Jack Wallace, Warren M. Finch, Warren P. Finch, Tim Ingalls, Audrey Finch, William Billingsley Jr., Jennifer Sensenbaugh, Hazel Gaston, Jerry Brantley, Brian Watson Jr., Kaniko Parsons, Jason Kathy Bradford, Thomas Bradley, Uncle Buki, Thomas Bradley, also known as Uncle Buki, also known as Gypsy. Reverend Roosevelt Word I, Stacey Trice, Frank Smith, Mother Bertha, Michael Leonard, David Brown, Ruth Carter, June Cox, Ruth Cox, Paula Cox, Ronald Urban, Judy Hubbard, Irene Johnson, Francis Booth Jefferson, Dan Wilkinson Sr., Emma McClendon, Jerry Doe, Amina Robinson, Mary Nichols, Patricia Williams, Shabaka Teray, Greg G2 Gibson, Donna Hill, Richard Gleavers, Lee Irby, Tommy Irby, Boyd Irby, Jim Gaucher, George and Hallie Johnson, Archie Margaret Armstead, Diane Scott, Edgar Armstrong, Claire Fox. That just reminded me of something. Gene Evans, Archie Beck, Anna McGill, Charles McDaniel, Christine Cottrell, Aunt Becca, Alice Arnold, Arthur Arnold, Hetty Reed, Charles Reed, Eula and Andrew Baker, Patricia and Edwin Brooks, Gwendolyn and Bob Hatch, Kimball Vernon, Bradley Kim, Janie Harry Tubman Cates, Spencer Sturgis, Sally Mae Baker, Ethel Baker, Creola Baker, Geneva Baker, Aaron Nino Baby Hatch, Hat Senior Mally Miller, Housie Hatch, Dad Cleveland, Mother Gibson, Alex Nixon, John Bowie, Lester and Rachel Saunders, Doretha Ross, Riola Ross, Robert Nelson, Francis Stevenson, Leroy Stokes, Neely Johnson, Fletcher Swan, Manny and Charlie Scott, Ida Casey, Thomas Cofer, Vivian Stevenson, Mona Ann Lewis, Cornetta Lyman Lewis, John Jackson, William Dallas Lewis, Mary Frances Chappelle Jackson, Michael Slade, Joanne Perkins, Richard Jackson, Martha Ford Dawson, Big Mama Nanny Harris, Eva Ford, James Harrison, Margaret Towns, Mary Williams, Leroy Q. Heap Sr., Albert Moore, Miss Manila, Albert Motley, Geraldine Elizabeth, Douglas Thompson, Ellington Houston, Led Alls, Elijah Alls, Jerome Alls, from West Staten, Joe Jamel Alls, and Pierce. Donald Carter, Lily Green, Nathan Green, Bat Vaughn, John Dewey, Ruth Beard, Tim Butler, Raymond Laura Newton, J.B. Foggy, Thomas Newton Sr., Baba Naeem, Jeanette Sanders, Jerry C. Sanders, Roy Pruitt, H.J. Brantley Sr., Henry Wilson, Rufus Jenkins, Minnie Wilson, Catherine Sanders, Muriel Ellis, Elizabeth Sanders, Henrietta Irby, Mildred Armstead, Margaret Armstead, Catherine Anthony, Ruby Brown, Charles Walker Sr., Charlie Walker, Cecil Russell, Diane Irvin, Haroon Phillips, William Ford, Margaret Logan, Phyllis Barnett, Lee Irvin Sr., Michael Irvin, Ozella Watson, Hugo Watson, John Caldwell Sr., Robbie Lee Caldwell, Nevaeh Mitchell, Ron McCormick Sr., Sabrina Easley, Rayshawn Easley, Javea McCormick, Barbara Ann Reed, Dorothy Ann Reed, John Reed, Shekel Maha Reed Jr., John Reed Jr., Patricia Reed, Edward R. Benson Sr., Ethel H. McNair, Lois Fernandez, Jacqueline Broadus, Reginald Oliver, Mazarine Cofer, George Swan, Edmonia Grayson, Charles Scott, Charles H. Scott, Michael Morgan, Charlene Morgan, Sybil Edwards McNabb, Anna Freeman, Annie Ferguson, William Ferguson, Shelby McClendon, and we still have to pull out the book because we had 2 more entries yesterday. Joella Giles, and James Carswell. All right. So, family, we lift up our glass and we say Ashe. From there, where do we go? We go to the present moment. What's going on in the present moment? This is where we build. This is where we build in the moment, family. This is the only place we could build. And this is we're gonna have to come together. We're gonna have these rough conversations. We're gonna have to have these uncomfortable conversations. We're gonna have to have these uncomfortable moments. We're gonna have to fall out. We're gonna have to fall back in, and we're gonna have to continue doing the work. So we lift up our glass because we are going to do what we need to do to rise to the top. And we say, I say, from there, family, we're gonna move to our future generations, our children, our children's children, on to infinity. We lift up our glass and we say, Ashe. From there, we salute all of our relations and we say, Ashe. This one is for you. What do you need in your life? Right? We say, Ashe. From there, family, last but not least, I salute the most beautiful, powerful, inspirational, motivational, strong, wise, intelligent person in the room. You know who that is? That's you. I lift up my glass to you. All right. With that, we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right, I'm gonna drink my stuff and I'm up out of here. I got a matter of fact, let me go. Peace. I gotta find out about my girl. Peace. Oh man. Yes. We still